everyone. Just trying to take a moment to make sure that my Miami friend pops up here. There's Teddy. Did you get the link? Today we're going to go over the last week of college football, week 4. The winners and the losers in a brief highlight. We're going to go over the AP Top 25. And I wrote down a little bit of some injury updates, and we're going to talk about the lead into the top 5, to the week 5 schedule. All right, so
Hey, yeah, I forgot about this. I forgot you got to scroll down to hit the join button. This is a problem that I had with Gambler. Always remember, if you do these go live together, you must scroll up or scroll to the bottom to find the join button.
yeah, this setup is a whole lot different.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I keep forgetting about it, and I have to go live with Gambler probably in the next week. So yeah, I'm glad we did this. I remember. Hmm. Yeah, I'm getting around slow today. I just got it for breakfast. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet.
But you know what? I was looking at the Tennessee game. It's a wonder that Tennessee didn't lose the way the statistics look. I mean,
Yeah.
Tennessee won convincingly, 56-24. But this Kitna, the quarterback at
Yeah, who did they
UAB,
play? Who was it again?
Alabama Birmingham, UAB.
Oh yeah. Because they look better. They're better than what they look. You know what I mean? Like they look crappy, but they're actually a decent team. They
Well,
just haven't put it together yet.
their quarterback alone was 38 of 51 for 364 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have
Yeah.
an interception, but those are some pretty impressive stats there by
Yes,
itself.
they sure are.
Whereas Aguilar, he was 15 of 22 for 218 yards, 3 touchdowns. But as far as yards goes, it wasn't really that impressive.
Tennessee's defense kept them in that game. That's the only
Yeah,
reason why. Yeah, Tennessee's D. The scoring defense is what it was basically.
yeah, that interception by Tarrantine and the 7 sacks that they had in the game made the big difference.
Yeah. Just like Miami. I think Miami would have been in deep trouble, but that defense rose up against the Gators, and that's why that game was tight. And also, Miami won because that defense was really, really good.
And then the big difference maker on offense was the running game, because Tennessee had 3 players with 50-plus yards and scoring runs. Lewis had 11 carries for 81 yards, 1 touchdown. Bishop had 9 carries for 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then Star Thomas, the transfer from Duke, had 9 carries, 51 yards, and a touchdown. So, that's most of your production right there.
Yeah, see, and you were in the Tennessee, and then with the Miami, their offense has a serious problem. But you know what? If they beat FSU in 2 weeks, I won't doubt them anymore. You know what I mean? To go into the hostile territory against FSU, who's been red hot, and beat them, then I'll be a full believer. But that offense has me concerned. It's like Tennessee's got problems, Miami's got problems too. Even though everybody keeps saying they're the number one team in the country, I don't agree with that one at all. I think they're about the number 5 team. Tennessee, I think they're a little better than what they're ranked. Where are they at now, Wolfie? When did they go up, Rocky? How high did they go up?
They're still right where they were at 15.
Yeah, that's probably about where they belong, between 15 and 12 right now. But that doesn't mean they'll go up.
And as far as Miami goes, I think we'll see their true ranking within a couple of weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks. I'm just not fully on board with that team. I mean, there was so many problems with that team, and then just go fix it. And then I still see a big problem with the offense now. The defense looked good, even though they let Notre Dame get 24 points on them. But other than that, if you think about it, they've really been doing really good. You know what I mean? So the defense is looking really good, but that offense is not consistent.
No, it really is. And I mean, Beck, as good as he is, I mean, he was so inconsistent during the Florida game. 17 of 30 for 160 yards. He didn't get
not
a
good.
single pass touchdown, and he had an interception. That's a pretty bad day for a quarterback.
That's mediocre at best. And if you go in there to Florida State, or you go into these playoffs and you think those stats are going to cover you, they're not. You go get whooped.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like with Tennessee, the running game is really what kept them in the game Saturday. Fletcher had 24 carries for 116 yards and a touchdown, and then the backup Brown had 18 carries for 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. If it wasn't for that, I don't really think Miami would have
I know.
really
I
stood a
don't.
chance.
I know. Everybody says Miami dominated Florida from a defense point. Yes, I agree. But that was not no dominance. Like everybody keeps hyping Miami so much. I don't see it. I mean, I love the Hurricanes. That's my team. But I also a realistic person. And if my team's good, they're good. But if they suck, they suck. And right now, I think they're kind of right there where they're just a little above average. But I think Miami's going to be a dynasty again.
And then, as far as the Gators goes, it was very, very obvious that Miami's defense was manhandling them. I mean, Lagway, he was 12 for 23 for 61 yards. That's FCS standards right there. And then no touchdowns and an interception. And then the rushing, Baugh had 12 carries for 46 yards. He did manage to score a touchdown, the only touchdown they had. And then Jackson, 7 carries for 39 yards and no touchdowns, and a fumble. So I mean, it was a very sloppy game. But then again, you could throw out the argument, well, it was raining. It still shouldn't affect the game that much.
Yeah, it does though. It does affect it a little bit, but it doesn't affect it that much because these guys practice in the rain too.
Yeah.
But what I want to get to too is Florida. Okay, that LSU loss of 10 points was that It was at LSU, right?
Yeah, it was at LSU. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's saying the Gators suck. I don't see them sucking. I think they got one of the worst schedules. They're the top 3 worst schedules in the entire NCAA. I mean, they just do. Look at all those teams they got to play. But in the SEC, I see a 10-point loss there. And the Miami, you really can't count that because those 2 touchdowns they slipped in on the end. Like you can't really count that.
No.
I just see Gators being a lot better than what they show. And South Florida, they slipped up a little. They underestimated them. They were looking ahead to the Miami game, and they didn't take them very seriously. And, when you don't prepare properly, you're going to get your butt whooped. And that's kind of what happened with South Florida. And then what was the other loss they had? So they had, the South Florida loss. They had the Miami loss, which both them games were a lot closer than what the score says. And what was the other loss they had?
They lost to
Yeah, LSU, South Florida, Miami, right?
Yeah, that's the three. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, three quality losses. Okay, that was what, 3 point game or 2 point game against South Florida, and then 10 point against LSU. And let's just call it like what was the score? 13-7 or something. And then I want to say a 6 point loss to Miami, because that's really what it was. They tacked those two touchdowns on at the end, and they missed the 2 point conversion. That's why it came out 26. But realistically, that's what it really was. It's like a 2 point loss, a 10 point loss to LSU, and then to Miami, I only see that being a 6 point loss. You really can't count those two touchdowns at the end.
The only thing that stands out to me about the Gators, though, is that one game against Long Island. Yeah, they're an FCS school now, but last year they were Division Two, and
Yeah.
Florida only won 55-0. I mean, yeah, it was a goose egg that they put up on them, but really, if you were an elite level school and you had an elite level football program, just to throw out an example, let's say the Tim Tebow Florida Gators. Long Island wouldn't have stood even a shot of even getting it within 50 points. It would have been like a 70, 80 point game. I mean,
Yeah, I
that,
don't think they rolled them up. I think they just started playing backups and they started figuring things out. Their head was still messed up from losing to who was it? LSU was their opening loss, right?
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah, they get their head together. I just think that's why it was only, what was it, 55-0?
Yeah, it was 55-0, yeah.
Yeah, that's still a pretty whopping score, though, if you think about it. I've seen basketball scores like that.
But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's still a whole lot of football to be played. Florida is playing like 3 or 4 ranked teams in a row.
And they're
Uh,
going to beat one of those. Trust me, they're going to win one of those games. They're going to beat somebody like Georgia. They're going to take somebody down like that. They're going to beat a good team.
but I mean, that also goes back to what everybody says about the SEC. In the SEC, any team can beat any team in that conference any day of the week. It
Yep.
just depends on who shows up and who plays the best.
Yeah, super competitive.
And that's the problem, is that SEC's become so good they keep bashing on each other, and then
And
big
then, yeah, teams that should make the playoffs don't make the playoffs. That's
yeah,
the problem I have right there, because you got too many elite schools in that conference.
yeah, that's the biggest problem. Yes.
Yeah, if I were some of those schools, I would consider transferring out. Unless you're going to up your program, you really need to, like the Kentucky and who else? There's like Vanderbilt. Maybe these places, maybe these teams should transfer out and get to a different conference. Like, look
I,
at the four at the bottom right there. At least two out of them four should jump conference. Get to a conference that you can win. Because, like you said, they're both beating each other up too much.
yeah, I mean, I've thought for the longest time that they need to have some type of balance. Once everybody's beating up on each other, like the bottom tier moves out and brings in another, like maybe Duke or North Carolina or something like that, just to change things up. Um, but then again, another thing that they could do is bring back the divisions. That would go a long way. Right now, they don't have the
Yeah.
divisions; they just have it as a single conference line, and whoever's at the top goes to the SEC championship. And that's not necessarily the best angle either.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's not a perfect system, and it never will be. But they do got to find ways to keep improving. I like the format of going with the 12 team playoff. That's pretty cool how they did that.
Yeah, even that I still think is not exactly perfect, because that's the fact that any team can beat any team at any point. Then you got teams like the conferences like the SEC who can easily field 6 teams in the playoff every year. So I think
Maybe
that
that's what's needed. Maybe they need a 4-team format for the for the conference playoffs. Instead
yeah.
of having it 2, maybe have that as 4. Maybe that's what we're lacking.
And that's one thing I thought about is that they need to do a 4-team conference playoff at the end of the year, and then I also think they need to do the uh, bracket of 32 with the four play-in teams.
Yeah, it's you can't keep making these college kids play that many extra games. That's part of the problem too. But I think you're going to have to.
Well, I
They're
mean,
going to have to do that.
I've thought about that too, Ted. Really, right now, all that students get is about a month and a half off in the current system. But if you were to do it where you started at the beginning of August and go to the end of February and do the lengthy playoff and everything, take out the spring practices because they're taking out the spring recruiting crap anyways. That will give them from February to basically end of June to July to have off time. I mean, it would give them more rest in the long run, in my opinion. But
Yeah, I thought about eliminating the bye weeks too. You know what I mean? Like move everything back, eliminate those bye weeks.
yeah, they could do that. But then again, that would be more tiring, and then that would also increase the not being able to recover from injury too. So
Yeah, but you only have one bye week. I don't think it makes that much difference actually. And everybody's going to have the same thing. But I think the bye week's a waste. I just think they should eliminate that. Everybody still has the same exact parameters. So I don't see that bye week being beneficial at all. I think teams come back off the bye weeks being kind of sluggish. This is what I've seen and what I've seen people talk about, like how they get a little bit rusty during that period. For one
yeah,
bye week's not. I don't think one bye week's going to make any difference. So that's 1 week where you could, that basically is an extra game right there. So you could get rid of them bye weeks, and then there's an extra game they could play right there.
yeah. I mean, there's certain years where I would agree with that. Like if you were to go back to say the '90s, for example, where Florida and Tennessee were pretty much the top every year. A lot of times that bye week really hurt Tennessee, and Florida took the benefit from it almost every year. So, I mean, I definitely think that there still needs to be some adjustments made. I just don't know about getting rid of the bye weeks fully. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, if they had 2 bye weeks or even 3 bye weeks, then I can understand the how it gives them time to heal up. But I just see it being 1 bye week really is it's what do you call it? It's what do you call that word? It's unnecessary. Let's just call it unnecessary.
Well, yeah, or defeating its purpose, anyways. The purpose of it is to recover. Hi, Patty. How are you?
Patty cakes. Yeah, I just see it kind of being. I don't know. It just seems like it knocks these teams off balance a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it can throw you off a rhythm. Like if you're undefeated and firing on all cylinders, and the next thing you know, you have a bye week. It can throw you off. Yeah, it definitely could do that.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody, is going to be under the same standards. So, having that bye week gone, everybody will have their bye week gone. So I just don't see it being beneficial like they think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the vertical format, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we got a couple people in here.
Yeah, thank you for the 3 currently that are watching. Appreciate it.
Yep, we'll get more people eventually.
But
It takes a long time to grow these sports channels.
oh yeah. Let's see here. So there was a couple of barn burners like we thought this week.
Yeah, the Oklahoma. I was happy to see they won. Trying to think who else. Yeah,
Michigan surprised me with their freshman quarterback. I didn't expect them to be as good as they were
yeah,
against Nebraska.
they squeaked it out. Nebraska was all right for an upset. People thought they were going to get upset, but they pulled it out. They won that game at Nebraska. And just like we thought, that Indiana game was a wipeout. Illinois was so overranked. I'd never liked Illinois from the start of the year. I thought they were way overranked. They're lucky if they're a top 20 team.
Oh, I know. And
Yeah.
Indiana's quarterback Mendoza, I mean, he was almost perfect for the game. He was 22 for 23 for 267 yards and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean,
Yep.
that's almost as perfect as a game as you could get right there. Now,
Yeah,
of
he
course, his
lit them
yards
up.
could be up,
Yep.
but
Yep, that's supposedly the 9th ranked team in the nation, which I don't agree with that at all. But he lit them up. Boy, he lit Illinois up.
and then on the opposite end, Altmaier, he was 14 to 22 for 146 and 1 touchdown. That's kind of an average day there, but they had nothing on the run game. Illinois could not establish the run if it was all they had to rely on. They couldn't have done it. I mean, Fagan 5 carries for 18 yards. I mean, that's it. 18 yards rushing. That's it.
I know. I know. I hope they don't make the playoffs because somebody loves those teams. I mean, the pollsters love that team, but I just don't see what they see. They're just they're average. They're like I said, they're like barely should be ranked. I don't see what everybody sees. They go and pull off a game here and there. And you remember last year? Remember Illinois? They beat somebody, didn't they? Last year they beat somebody good, and
Yeah, I think it was.
it was like Notre Dame or one of the big team. But they're not. They're just all not that consistent. But
And I mean,
the polls love those guys, but I just don't see I don't see it. I mean, they got a decent team, but that's it. Decent. But consistency is where you really need to be now.
hello,
You've
thank you
got
for
to be
coming
consistent.
in. But yeah, I mean, golly, I tell you that the Illinois, that the numbers they put up. I mean, you would have thought that they were the worst team in the NCAA this last week.
Yeah, they'll probably get better, because they're now on the map. They've been ranked as high as number 8 or 9. But the consistency is where they need to be on both sides of the ball. And versus Indiana, they got whooped.
Yeah, they it was a total shellacking. I mean, and then that Texas Tech Utah game, you called that crap.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah, I did.
it was a total blowout by the end of it.
I told everybody was picking Utah, and I said, nope, nope, nope. It's not going to happen. Yeah, what was the score on that one? That Utah game?
It was like 34-10 by the end of it.
Yeah,
Texas Tech scored like 14 points in the fourth quarter to Utah's nothing in the fourth quarter. Um,
yeah, they wore them down. Is what they did.
Texas Tech, they fielded 2 quarterbacks in the game. Hammond was 13 of 16 for 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. And I guess he got hurt or something. I'd have to watch the game over again to know for sure. Then the second string quarterback came in, Martin. He was 12 for 19 for 142 yards, but had 2 interceptions.
Yeah, those interceptions can sometimes usually they always turn to points,
Yeah.
Each interception you throw is going to probably give the other team 3 points.
I think honestly that's where Utah's 10 points came in, was those interceptions. But Utah, Dampier, the quarterback, he was 25 of 38 for 162 yards. He had 2 interceptions. And then their running game just wasn't in it. Hammond, the quarterback, he ran for 61 yards with 8 carries. And then Texas Tech's halfback, Dickey, he was 13 carries, 67 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns by himself. So the run game was a real difference maker there. It looked based off of the statistics, rushing wise, Utah only had 54 yards. 54 yards total.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I want to throw something out there that's off. NFL, I told everybody to bet on Kansas City. And, yeah, Kansas City got their first win. There was no way in hell that Kansas City was going to go, what? How many losses did they have?
They
2
were
in a row, right?
0-2, yeah.
Yeah, they were 0-2. There's no way that that team was going to 0-3, because I told everybody to bet on Kansas City if you're a betting person, because they did beat the Giants 22-9. I was just looking at that because I didn't see that score yet. I hadn't seen the score. So what was that? That's
Thank
what's
you,
that?
Patty.
13-point win by Kansas City. But yeah, there was no way, no matter what team they would have played, I would never have predicted Kansas City to go 0-3. But yeah, I just noticed that now. Yeah, I just want to say it before I forget, because we're going to wind up forgetting about that one. But USC, they seem to have turned that program around a little bit.
Yeah, they had a pretty good game, yeah.
Yeah, I think I predicted that one too, but I don't remember if because I knew USC was kind of getting better. Yeah. It was pretty tight up to that fourth quarter. Then I don't know. It's kind of, I guess it wasn't really tight. I'm looking at the scores.
And boy, I'm telling you what, Auburn's bitter this week.
Yeah, who's Auburn play? I think they might win.
Let's see here. Auburn plays. Let's see if I can pull it up here without messing anything up.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these scores to see, because there was a couple I did miss. But yeah, USC, look for them to be doing a little better. Texas is still inconsistent with that quarterback. LSU's, they're looking pretty good. LSU.
Yeah, Auburn plays number 9 Texas A&M this week.
Who do they play? Texas
Number
A&M.
9 Texas A&M.
Ooh, that's gonna be a tight game. I don't know if they're gonna be able to beat them or not. I don't know. Gonna be kind of tight. Yep, Vanderbilt is a team to watch, really. In the SEC.
Oh, I know. They've been surprising everybody. They're actually going to be my team of focus for this week's content, as well as I'm going to take a deeper dive into Clemson as to why they're playing so terribly.
Yeah. I'm surprised South Carolina lost to Missouri. Very surprised. I really predicted that one to be an upset. So there's one that I was wrong on. I thought South Carolina was going to win that one.
Well, Sellers got hurt, and that's their playmaker. So
Yeah, Georgia Tech is, against good opponents, Georgia Tech rises to the occasion, but they never look too impressive against the lower competition. But that's another team to watch for. Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know. They kind of look sluggish still. They beat Purdue, but they allowed Purdue to put up 30 points on them. Yep, Michigan edged out Nebraska. I'm just seeing here. Tulane, I thought they would put up more of a fight against Ole Miss, but 30-point loss there. No, 35-point loss.
Yeah, the passing game of Ole Miss really lit up in that game.
Yeah, Auburn. Yeah, Auburn scared Oklahoma though. So yeah, I mean, Auburn might beat Texas A&M.
The most impressive on Oklahoma was that quarterback Mattier that transferred from Washington State. He was 24 for 36, 271 yards, and a touchdown. And then he also had 10 rushing carries for 29 yards and a touchdown on it as well. So he had it on the rushing and the passing. Then
Yeah.
Auburn, I mean, on paper it looks pretty neutral. I mean, 21 of 32 for, and 220 yards for Arnold and a touchdown. So Jackson Arnold didn't do too terrible himself. And then Cobb, the lead rusher, went six carries for 61 yards. So I mean, really, statistically, it was kind of across the board. It was just a matter of getting the right touch at the end.
Yeah. I know. I'm looking at these scores. Oregon's looking pretty good. Tennessee's looking pretty good. TCU beat SMU. That was supposedly a pretty good team. They did that. They beat them. And then before that, though, yeah, Texas Tech dominated Utah. But SMU, I thought was going to be like a contender possibly this year. But yeah, if they've got a couple losses already.
Hey,
But yeah,
Dominic.
Florida. Yeah, and Florida State's got to go to Virginia. Virginia's not going to roll over and just let them win.
Oh,
So I
no,
mean,
not at all.
yeah, I think they're going to win, but I think that game might be within 7 points possibly. That Florida State game, it might be 10 points or less. But Virginia at home is pretty tough. And see, Florida State's going to be worrying about Miami, and they might, take their foot off the pedal a little bit. I'm thinking. Guess what? They got TCU at Arizona State. Now, Arizona State was ranked number 11 at the beginning of the year. I'm kind of predicting that Arizona State is going to pull an upset on TCU, who's ranked 24. What do you think about that one?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Arizona State, they don't have Scatterboo this year. He's now in the NFL. It really depends on the pass game. If they can get the pass game going, yeah, they might stand a chance of being in the game. But that's really a big question mark right now because they actually have two receivers hurt right now.
Yeah, God, there's some good games. USC at Illinois, 21 versus 23. I think that's going to be a tight game. I don't know. I don't know how Illinois is going to respond after that Indiana whooping. I don't know. But I got that game being pretty even. And then you got Notre Dame 22 at Arkansas. Arkansas might pull an upset right there. And then Georgia Tech at Wake Forest. Let's see. Vanderbilt has Utah State. That's going to be two easy wins right there. But yeah, Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M. And then there's one of the best games there. LSU at Ole Miss. Could Ole Miss pull an upset? I don't think so, but you never know. And then the game of the week for me and Wolfie is Oregon number 6 versus Penn State number 3.
Yeah,
I think, right?
that's the game of the week for sure. Well, I don't know. That Georgia Alabama game sounds like it's going to be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I don't know. I really get that Oregon Penn State. I think is because that's who it is right now. The Big Ten's got three of the top teams right there. So we got to figure out who's the best. Is it Oregon? Is it Ohio State? Or is it Penn State? We just don't know which of those three teams is the best. And you got
But
all three of them in the top six.
true, that is
You
true.
know, we
But
got to sort it out. We got to sort it out and get the right one up there.
but I tell you, a silent game to watch this week is number 4 LSU taking on number 13 Ole Miss in Oxford.
Yep. Yes, that's what we're saying. Yeah, that one's going to be probably. I think you're right. Old Miss could pull the upset. They could pull an upset. LSU's kind of been, like, say, untested, untested a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
But
I
the
don't know. I don't know. What do you
but
think?
but the sleeper game that I have for this week that everybody's probably not watching is Arizona versus number 14 Iowa State. I think Arizona might pull off the upset.
Yeah, the Wildcats are pretty consistent. They are pretty consistent. Yeah, Arizona usually plays well, especially against ranked opponents. They love to upset people.
And then, of course, you got Mississippi State, who's still undefeated, but not in the rankings, and they're taking on my Vols. I don't know, and it's in Starkville.
Yeah, I think Tennessee will beat them, but it might be closer than what they say. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see Mississippi State giving them any trouble.
But yeah, I'm going to dive into this later on this week for content. But Clemson, I think why they're not playing the greatest, they have 13 players injured right now.
That's
Seven
what
of
it
those
is
are
then.
starters.
I'm glad you looked at that because that makes sense. If you have 13, especially first or second stringers on that injured reserve, then there's the problem right there. You could maybe miss two, but when you miss more than that, yeah, you got a big problem.
And I'm shocked that Michigan was able to pull off the win with 17 injuries.
Yeah,
But I don't know how many of those happened during the Nebraska game though. This is post game report injuries. So
oh, Chris,
and
you got
seven of
Chrissy,
the
Patty, and Dominic down in the chat.
yeah, Patty is watching because of trying to help me with the hours, which I'm very appreciative of. And then Dominic's in here, and then you got Chrissy watching.
Yep, they're all wearing earplugs. Wolfie, they don't want to hear the football. They're all putting earplugs in.
But let's see here. Alabama's currently got 6 injuries. Three of those are questionable for this week.
Really?
Florida has 10 injuries right now, and only
That's a
two
lot.
are questionable. So that's a lot right there.
That's a lot. That's almost that's a ton of injuries.
And then Iowa State has 16 injured right now, and only two of them could possibly play this week. So that might be a difference maker right there too for that game.
Yeah, and most of these players obviously are first and second string. That's why they're injured because they got injured playing. So that's
Yeah,
why the injuries are so important because when you get injured, it's because you got hurt playing, so you're losing your best players. There's Janice.
hi Janice. And then Tennessee currently has 7 injured, but three of them are expected to play this week. Four of them have been injured since before the season started, so I don't think anything is really affecting them right now, injury wise. But
Yeah, those injuries are super important, especially this early in the season to have all those injured players.
yeah.
Big problem.
Now, one thing I did not know about the Illinois and Indiana game is that Illinois had 6 starters hurt.
Yeah, that plays a big factor, actually. Well, yeah. Then that means if they're still all hurt, then maybe we know who's going to win next week when USC. Didn't it
Yeah,
USC? What was USC, right?
USC's ranked 21st right now, but they only have one hurt right now. So I mean, health wise, you would think USC would stand a pretty good chance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't know Illinois had that many players hurt. Definitely makes a big difference having those starters hurt.
But yeah, I think Tennessee they have their corners McCoy and Gibson both returning this week. They've been hurt since the Syracuse game, so that will make a difference there. I think really that would have helped them during the Georgia game to have them back, but they weren't ready yet. And then, of course, David Sanders, the 5-star offensive lineman that we've been waiting to see since the beginning of the year, is finally questionable. He might start this week, so that'll be interesting to see. Thank you to the
Yeah,
four watching right now. Appreciate it.
yeah, you should rotate him in for a few snaps at least. Just get him out there. If he's able to play, at least just get him out there.
Yeah, because I mean, he needs to have a little bit of experience, even if he isn't fully healthy. I mean, he's a freshman. If worst comes to worst, play him 2 or 3 games, and then redshirt him because he won't lose any eligibility.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people say, "What is a 5-star player?" It's basically a player that's established rankings based on performance, and they're considered to be the best of the best. So when you're missing a best of the best, it can affect your team.
Yeah, Sanders was in the recruiting rankings that 24/7 Sports comes up with. You have the top 300 players. In the top 300 players in the country, David Sanders was in the top 10 of that 300 coming into this year. So having somebody that big as a freshman coming in, that's huge to not have him out on the field.
Yeah.
But yeah, off topic here. I'm kind of glad to see that my Lions won yesterday.
Trying to think of what other teams we might be missing. Like
Let's see here.
some non-ranked teams like that, like the first 5 that are out. I always look at that. Like you said, Mississippi State. Dak Prescott's old team. Yeah, I thought we'd get more people in here.
That's another game too, right there. You got number one Ohio State, but quietly, and I mean they have been extremely quiet. Nobody's even really focused on them. The Washington Huskies are 3-0, and they're playing them this week in Washington.
Oh, really? Huskies are
Yeah,
3-0?
yeah, the Huskies are 3-0 right now.
I thought they lost one. What's been their first three games?
Let's see. Did you hear me?
No, I didn't hear.
Colorado State, UC Davis, and Washington State.
Yeah, all three of those teams are kind of on the down and out. Washington State took a terrible, terrible. Yeah, I think it's going to be. They're not going to win that game.
I don't know. Weird stuff has happened, but I don't know. I just think Washington's been kind of quiet, and they've been putting up a lot of numbers.
But his teams are weak. I don't know. I don't see Washington winning that game in any scenario.
And then you have Rutgers taking on Minnesota. That will be a so-so. And then you got Duke taking on Syracuse, where Syracuse just lost their starting quarterback for the rest of the year. So that'll be kind of questionable there.
Who lost the starting quarterback?
Syracuse,
I didn't know that.
yeah, Angeli, he tore his Achilles.
Oh no!
Yeah, against Clemson.
Wow. Yeah, you hate to lose him. Syracuse had a promising season going.
Yeah, they did. Before he got hurt, I could have seen them making it to at least the end of the season at a top 25 level. But now it's a little bit more of a question mark. I mean, the second string quarterback came in and he didn't miss a dime, but I don't know.
Big shoes to fill.
Huge shoes to fill.
They got to go to Miami and play Miami.
I know.
Yeah, Miami's going to want revenge because that game knocked them out of the playoffs.
It did. It sure did.
Mm-hmm.
But is that game at Syracuse or is it
It's
at?
at Miami. It's at Miami this year.
Oh Lord, that's gonna get nasty.
Oh, I know it is. Mm-hmm. And that coach making all that trouble for Miami.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's gonna get ugly.
It is. That coach don't like Miami. What's his name again? I forget the name of that coach.
Oh, what is his name?
Oh, and he stole a 5-star recruit from us in Miami. So yeah, he's not happy. Yeah, Miami don't like Syracuse and that coach. Godspeed. They have a nickname for him too. I forgot.
But anyways, the top 25. There's a couple of surprises this week that I noticed, like BYU being in the top 25. I really thought that Mississippi State would have had that 25th spot this week. But
Yeah, his name was Fran something. I just thought about it when I went out to the kitchen. Fran something? Fran something? I don't know. Fran Brown or something like that? I think that's his name. Fran Brown? I gotta look it up. But no, I had to eat something. I hadn't eaten anything all day. My head started drifting away from me. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Fran Brown. That's my best guess of what his name is. Who's the head coach of Syracuse football? Fran Brown. That's who it is.
According to Instagram, head coach Fran Brown is one of the realest voices in college football.
yeah,
He
it's
sits
Fran. Yeah,
big
Yep.
time recruits.
It just hit me. Like I said, I ate some food. The food started hitting me a little bit, and then his name popped in my head just like that. But yeah, they don't like him here in Miami. Like I said, he took a 5-star guy from us, I believe a running back. Forgot his name, Derek Cooper or something like that. Yeah, he took Derek Cooper from us.
yeah. The last name is Cooper, but I can't think of his first name. Right
Yeah, Derek Cooper, I believe. But yeah, he took him. We still think we could flip him because his best friend plays for Miami, the Malichi Tony guy, the receiver that's been lighting it up. So we probably can flip him, but who knows? Maybe not. But yeah, I know a lot of people are mad about that. I think he wanted to go there and start right away. That's why some of these players go where they go. They don't want to sit on the bench, play 1 year, 2 years. They want to play 2, 3, 4 years and then go in the NFL as a first round pick. I think Syracuse gives him a better chance of that than Miami does.
Yeah.
Miami's getting pretty deep on that running back position.
Yeah, they are with Fletcher and
Yeah, that's the thing. They're stacking up, and if you're a player, you want to start. You don't want to be sitting on the bench.
no, not at all.
Yeah, you don't want 1 year to shine or 2 years to shine. That's usually what you get, 1 or 2 years to shine. You need 3 or 4 years sometimes, especially to be a number 1 draft pick. Top first round.
Hello, Lucy.
There, Lucy. Yeah, it's hard to get to be a number 1 pick. I mean, there's only 32 players that can say they got picked in the first round. So you got to basically be in that top 32, and that's not easy to do. But I'll tell you one person, I'm pretty sure as long as he don't get hurt, he'll be there because they've got him to be drafted between number 5 and 8. That Ruben Bain guy on defense. Boy, that dude,
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
the dominant
beast.
factor right there.
Oh yeah, he's talk of the town down here right now. But I see him being a real difference maker in that FSU game.
But yeah, as far as Vanderbilt goes, this week they play Utah State. I have a feeling that Vanderbilt's going to be 5-0 after this week, and then they play Alabama.
Yeah, I see him beating Alabama too. I think they're going to go all the way to 7-0 at least, and then what's after that? Because I see Vanderbilt possibly being in the SEC championship game. I think they're good enough to beat anybody, but I don't know if they'll beat Georgia or LSU. I don't know about them too, but they're good enough.
Yeah, they have Alabama, then LSU, then they go to Missouri, and then after that they got Texas A&M.
Yeah, I think they're only going to have that one loss to LSU. That's it. That LSU might be a loss, close loss.
And then, boy, Alabama has a tough stretch. They play Georgia this week, then they got Vanderbilt. Then they play. I can't remember who they play after that, but then the third Saturday in October, you got Tennessee. So they got a really, really tough stretch.
Yeah, I was asking myself, was that first game where Alabama lost to LSU, was that just the first game jitters, or is really FSU that good that they dominated them? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to figure that out. I'm just trying to think, is FSU for real, or is Alabama, where I just don't know how to evaluate Alabama
Yeah,
after that opening loss.
there's still some questions with Florida State.
Yeah. Florida State's questions and Alabama still questions. But we'll know, in 2 weeks. We're going to know all that. We're going to know who's who. If Miami beats FSU and if Alabama loses, then we know.
But I will boldly state, if Coach Kalen DeBoer doesn't get into the playoff in the
You think they're
next
fire him?
2 years, he'll be gone.
Oh, yeah. Because, they plucked him from Washington, guys. That's where he came from, Washington Huskies. And, Washington was a very successful team. And that's why they grabbed him. But, yeah, if he doesn't turn it around there and they're not in the playoffs next year, he's gone.
But, I mean, it's kind of sad to say, though, because back in the day, if you were able to have a really good team, even if you didn't make the national championship, even if you didn't really get anywhere, as long as you had a good bowl game and stuff, you were secure on your job. But now, because of the fan bases being as demanding as they are, you
They
got to
are.
be in
They're
the
influential.
championship or bust now.
Yep, it's influential. Yeah, you don't if you don't bring that playoff spot within 3 years, you're gone. Simple as that. They pin it on the coach. And it's not just the coach. It's, it should be the general managers and the recruiting, though. That's the whole thing. You need to pick coaches that are good recruiters.
Oh, yeah.
See, and I don't think he's that good at recruiting. I don't know. I just don't see him as a strong recruiter.
That's why I'm so glad that Tennessee got Coach Heupel when they did, because we were in a spiral. I mean, you're looking at from 2007 to 2000 and what was it, 19? We went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches in a span of 6 years, and that's just 6, 7 years. That's just not healthy for any program.
And the reason why it's terrible to be flipping coaches in and out, because the recruiting, it sends a signal to the recruits that this place is unstable. You really need to have a good coach that's not going to be getting fired every week or every year or whatever. And, because the recruits will leave too. The recruits go to play for that coach sometimes, but you've got to have that stability at head coach.
And now Florida's getting a small dose of that, because they've went since Urban Meyer. They've went through
3 or 4 of them guys.
3 or 4. I mean, if you keep cycling through trying to get back to where you were, you're going to make yourself worse. So you got to give a little bit of time, but.
Yeah, they're saying that fire Billy, and like I say, I think Billy's the right coach. I do. And if you look at their losses, they're not bad losses. It's not like they got blown out by, like Alcorn State or something like that. These were quality losses. against ranked opponent. Every opponent was ranked. Even though it might not have been an 18 rank on South Florida, they were just underranked at that time. But they got beat by ranked opponents. I mean, number 3, what was Miami, 6 or 4, whatever, number
number
4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, and then LSU's really number 3 right now. I mean, you got beat by top 10 opponents. And yeah, maybe South Florida, you lost at home by 2 points against somebody that was ranked number 18. Because you're looking forward to that Miami game. That's what happened, I think, is South Florida really caught them off guard. They weren't taking them serious. They're looking to that Miami game, and they lose focus because these are young kids.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Most of the roster is primarily teenagers.
But I would be willing to bet, though, if for some reason that Napier gets fired,
I hope not.
Florida will have a year that they only have like 1 or 2 wins if they fire him.
Yeah, I know. They're trying to pull in somebody big. I've been hearing some crazy names floating around. They want to fire him, and so if you are going to fire him, you better be pulling in a big heavyweight, like somebody like a Steve Spurrier or a Gruden or one of them big coaches or Harbaugh. You better be bringing in pretty much a damn legend. You better be bringing in somebody huge. Because if not, yeah, that team is going to just go back to the same routine, losing, and then no recruits are going to come. If I were Florida, I would load up on Deion because I heard Deion's not happy at Colorado. I would bring him back, but he probably would never join. But he was Florida State. He would never join Florida. You know what I mean? I don't think he would ever do that to them. But money talks.
Oh, if the price was right, he would.
See, if you could bring Deion back to the state of Florida for any of those big 3 colleges, he would get all the recruits because everybody loves primetime. He's got all the hype going. It would be a no-brainer. Bring him into Florida. Oh my God, it would be huge. All those recruits, he'd be all over them. He would get them all. I mean, he could dominate football if Prime, could come back and be coach. No matter what school he was at. I know.
That's why I say that he would probably be a great pull for the UCLA Bruins too. But
yeah, he would. He could bring that program back. But right now, I just know he's not happy at Colorado. And there's people, even the NFL's been trying to entice him. But, the thing is, you'd have to, give him a much better situation than Colorado.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he won't go to the NFL unless he's getting paid like the highest level.
Yeah, he'll be. Yeah, that's how he is, Deion. But I do think a college program would have a huge score in grabbing him. Not only them recruits are going to transfer too. Some of the big recruits he got, they're going to transfer and follow him too.
Oh yeah. And then,
but that's what I would do if I were Florida. I'd make a move on Deion. This is what I would do. I'd go for him. I know he was FSU, and I don't think he would do it. But like you said, for money, he might do it.
Now here's another big question that I've been thinking about pretty much since Saturday. If Notre Dame loses 1 or 2 more games, are they going to get rid of Freeman? And
yeah, that's a tough situation because he is a good coach, but the fact is that he's got a hell of a roster, and that team's not playing to their potential at all. Oh man, like I said, I think if there was more time on that clock, I think he would have upset Miami, or at least it would have went to a tie.
Yeah,
because that fourth quarter, the Canes just melted down. The defense got tired, and the offense started sputtering. And that was a whole different game in that fourth quarter. So Notre Dame I think they're much better than what they are, but I think they're inconsistent. And I don't know if that's the coach or the team or whatever, but I don't know.
Because
Notre Dame
I honestly think that if Freeman was to become available, I think that's who Florida would go for.
Yeah, I mean that would be probably the smart pick right there because he's a little better at recruiting. But Florida's always had really big tradition, and they've gotten some elite people. And I don't know, like Florida, I could see them being a really dominant, force in the football, if with the right coach.
I mean, as far as Tennessee goes, they got lucky with Heupel, and Heupel really wanted to come to Tennessee because he wanted to come to Tennessee as a football player, which I didn't know that until he was here. But usually, to have a really good coach in a really good program, it's usually a former player from that school.
That's right.
Usually.
That's what we have here in Miami now. We have Mario Cristobal used to play on the offensive line, and that's why he's excelling because he's playing for his alma mater.
I mean, Philip Fulmer, he went to Tennessee. He wound up winning a national championship. Spurrier, he went to Florida. He won a national championship with Florida. I mean, it's been proven if you can get somebody that is from your respected school, you're going to be able to be more productive. But the question that comes down to on Florida's end, who would be ready to coach that played there? I mean, Emmett Smith don't have any coaching experience.
Yep.
Jesse Palmer does have some coaching experience. He's also a football analyst. He's been on ESPN for years.
That's right.
That would be a good fit. Tim
Yeah, he's popular
Tebow.
too. You'd recognize his face. So you're right. That's what they need.
Tim Tebow would be another good one. I mean, face the recognition, the stardom, former Heisman. I mean,
Yeah, you're right. They'd be good. But that's the thing. Would they be good or are they going to be good? I don't know.
just like before Coach Heupel came to Tennessee, it would make so much sense to go after Peyton Manning.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, I think Peyton wants to retire, like kind of stay out of the spotlight a little bit or something. I don't know. It's something. Can't tell what he's going to be doing. He likes to seem to pick up the little side hustle type things. I don't think he's a committal person right now.
Well,
Peyton,
I mean, he's already told certain people that he doesn't ever want to be a head coach unless he got a big enough offer. But he would love the opportunity to be a coordinator, which I would love to see Peyton Manning as an offensive coordinator. As brilliant as his mind is, I don't think there'd be anybody that would compare to him on the offense.
yeah, yeah, because Peyton went to Tennessee, but where did Eli go?
He went to Ole Miss.
Oh, okay, Ole Miss is where he was. Yeah, I couldn't remember.
Same as his daddy.
Yeah, because I remember Peyton. Oh, I forgot what number he was. He's number 8.
Peyton in college was 16.
That was it, 16. Yeah, I thought he was 8.
And then when he went to pros, he was 18. Eli was 10 at Ole Miss, and then he changed to 18 in the pros. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He stayed at 10. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah, I know when he was at Giants, I remember seeing 10. I was just thinking about it right now. Was he 10? Yeah, because when he played for the Giants, I know he was 10.
Yeah, it was 10.
But that's only, yeah. That's the only way I remember him, number 10. But yeah, it is interesting with these coaches. See the shake up here.
And then I still think Cooper Manning would have made it to the pros too had he got to play, but he got that illness and was never able to continue on.
Yeah.
Them Mannings, they just have a football pedigree. Their brains like embedded football.
Yeah, you're right. It is true. They do. You're
Just
right.
like Peyton Manning's boy. He's coming up. He'll be in the 2027 or 2028 recruiting class, and he's already in the top 100. And it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do.
Yeah, well, college is going to grab him.
He's grown up in Neyland Stadium, so I mean, I would be very surprised if he didn't go to Tennessee.
So you think Peyton's boy is going to go to Tennessee?
Yeah, because I mean, every time Peyton gets a chance, he's always at Neyland Stadium. He's always at Neyland Stadium, and his boys right beside him every step of the way, wearing the football jerseys and all that stuff. And
You're probably right then. Tennessee's going to get him. You probably are right.
but I mean, at the same time, on Tennessee's end, you don't want to just assume that somebody's going to be good because of their last name. Because they've done that before. They recruited Navy Schuler because Schuler was his father who played at Tennessee, and Navy Schuler was fourth string quarterback at best.
Hmm.
And he wound up transferring out to Appalachian State, which he did get the starting job there, but he didn't make pro. But golly, he's Schuler. He was such a good college quarterback at Tennessee, but once he went pro, he got the big head and flopped out at Washington.
Yeah, it's weird how some of these players are so good, and then when they get into the pros, they just totally flop. Yeah, I mean, we've all seen that happen a bunch of times.
It's because they get the big head. They're like, oh, I'm making the big bucks. Look at me.
Yeah, sitting back eating eclairs and stuff when they should be eating proteins or something.
And I mean, prime example of how money talks. Look at Nico Emiliava. I keep bringing Nico back up, but I mean, he's a prime example of it.
Yeah, he was at Tennessee. He had it made. He could have just went and told Coach Heupel, "Hey, man, please get me paid," and he would have. He would have gotten you paid. And because I don't want to leave to go somewhere else. But nope, he listen to his dad and let his dad, basically take him away from a team that loved him, where he was thriving at. It just made no sense when he made that move.
And now UCLA is, and he has played the absolute garbage. I mean, he's not
Well,
been good at all.
They didn't have an offensive line either. They don't have anybody. They don't have anybody protecting them either.
Well, actually, here's the thing about UCLA. All of their line is returned from last year. They are a very experienced line. They don't want to block for him because he has the big head. If
Could
you
be
watch
right. It could be right.
if you watch the first 3 games of the year, half the time those linemen are just letting the defense go through.
Yeah, I guess maybe they didn't want him there. They didn't. They didn't want to play for him. They wanted him to fail, and that's why he bounced out of there when that transfer portal. He already entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, he bounced out of there so freaking fast. So yeah, I mean, you could be right.
His name should be I'm a leaving because he's leaving everywhere he goes.
Yeah, he's chasing the money, and yeah, as a college player, if you're a pro player, we expect it. But as a college player, he's an exact reason why the nil is being misused right now.
And that's also why they're going to be making changes to it, which I'm so glad that they are.
Yep. That's why Nick Saban said he got out of coaching. He said the nil was going to ruin college football, and he's right. It kind of did.
But now that they're adding a cap to it, they can't make no more than a certain amount, which I think is $3 million, which is still
Really?
a lot of money for a college player.
Yeah. How much is Carson Beck getting this year? Didn't he get like $8 million or $5 million or something crazy?
He's up there somewhere crazy. I know
Yeah.
that.
How much is Carson Beck getting in nil money from the University of Miami? Is it going to be $3 million? Okay, he's getting $4 million. And it says here, Carson Beck is expected to receive $4 million in nil money from the University of Miami. And it says it's a substantial deal. Nil deal is reported the largest in college football history for a transfer. And it's also why he reversed going into the NFL draft and he joined the Hurricanes. That $4 million, is why it says here. And when I Googled it, that is why he didn't go into the pros, because he was going to enter the draft. But he was also hurt too. And nobody would have drafted a hurt guy.
Well, I mean, they
At least.
would have, but his money would have been way lower.
Oh, I know. Yeah. So he gets way more money playing college for Miami. And what he's hoping to do is to lead Miami to a title, obviously, and win the title and be a first round pick. That's his goal.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question what he done was smart, but
Oh, yeah.
I think as far as the school that he chose to go to was kind of a silly reason. It was for his girlfriend.
That's right. That's what it
But
was for. Yeah. Yeah. And now they're broken up anyway. Yeah. They broke up months ago.
I mean, just my opinion. If I was a top level player being recruited, even I would not base my decision off of my relationship. Either the relationship will last no matter where I'm at, or it won't. But not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah. Because she was a basketball player on University of Miami's team, female basketball player. And yeah, they broke up, though. I forgot. 3 months ago, 4 months ago, something like that. They broke up. But I'm sure he's found all kinds of replacements for her.
Oh, yeah, I'm quite sure. He is in.
Especially making them millions of dollars. They all know it too. But yeah, that was a smart move, like you say, because he would have, what do you call it, a hurt NFL player. He would not have gotten much money. I don't even know his rookie contract. I don't even know how high it would have been, but it wouldn't have been that high.
I mean, he's a starting quarterback making a lot of money in a beach city. Yeah, he's going to have girls, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That
that's
is not his problem right now.
yeah. I think it was a good decision though, because you're guaranteed $4 million, and you're basically recouping from an injury. So, I mean, yeah, he definitely made a good move there. Plus, he can now rebuild his stock. That hey, I'm healthy and I could be a leader, but I don't see his stats being consistent right now. So he's going to have to do better than he did versus Florida. He needs a big, big, big game coming against Florida State. He needs to come out and win that game with good stats.
Oh yeah, he needs to knock it out of the park. Is what he needs to do.
He really does. Yep. Because that is it has now realized that is now the game. We didn't think that at the beginning of the year, but yeah, FSU has proven to be a much better team than last year. And that team, that game, and that team is going to be the game. As far as the ACC.
The way I see it, if Miami expects to win against a top tier team, completion rating is going to have to be at least 65%. You're going to have to put up at
Well,
least 250 in yards.
yep,
Rushing's going to have to average at least 2 to 250 in rushing. So they have the players to do it. It's just a matter of
yeah.
can they.
So yeah, because if it's not Miami, because it's going to be the winner of the Florida State Miami game versus probably Georgia Tech for the championship ACC. I'm
That's
looking,
exactly the way I see it right now. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm looking right now. Florida State has to go to Clemson and play, but I think they'll win. Virginia Tech, NC State, okay, and then at the Gators, yeah. All Florida State has to do is beat Miami, and they're going to win and be in the ACC game. That game against Florida is not going to make any difference, but because they're going to have the championship of the ACC.
Yeah.
And Georgia Tech is the only one standing in their way, I think, after if they beat Miami. I just, yeah, I see this game being whoever wins this game is probably going to win the ACC. That's the way it's looking. I'm looking at.
Now, if Florida State wins but loses to Florida, yeah, they might still make it to the ACC championship, but it might affect them getting to the playoff.
Yeah, I could. Like I'm looking right now at Georgia State, and they got a cush schedule here. Okay, Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, Duke, Syracuse, NC State, Boston College, Pittsburgh might be a little challenge, and then it doesn't matter if they win that Georgia game. The Georgia Tech Georgia game's not going to be relevant, but yeah, Georgia Tech's got it home free. If they could just keep it together, because the Florida State Miami game is whoever wins that game is probably who's going to face Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
More than likely, that's going to be your ACC game right there, and the winner of that conference automatically gets a berth, football berth. So yeah, I'm sure Georgia Tech's just saying, who cares? We're going to make it. All we got to do is worry about ourselves. That's all they got to do. They're
And
on cruise. They're on cruise control right now.
and honestly, if Miami lost to Florida State right now, and Florida State made it to the ACC championship game, Miami will still probably make it to the playoff.
Yeah, if they don't lose anymore, if they go there with one loss, a quality loss, yeah, against the team at their home field, oh yeah, Miami will still definitely make the playoffs. Definitely. But yeah, they can't go and trip up at Virginia Tech or Pittsburgh, which is what I'm worried about. But
I mean, as far as Miami's playoff chances this year, it is solely on them to mess it up this year because they should be in.
yeah, I mean, they still, like I said, they still got to go in the cold and play Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh. and Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech, which Virginia Tech just plays them real hard all the time, and Pittsburgh does too. But they still got to go to SMU and beat SMU. Which I think they'll do it, but it's not going to be a piece of cake. But right now, all they got to do is worry about beating Florida State. They got to pull that game out. They got to win it.
After that game against TCU, I don't really think SMU is going to be much of a challenge.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll have to see. But you know how it is when somebody comes into your backyard and they got that high ass ranking. You want nothing else but to knock them off that pedestal. And that's what I'm afraid of. Miami's gonna have a big target on their back, coming around like being ranked. Because think about it, they're going to be ranked number 2. They won't put them above Ohio State, no way. But they'll be ranked number 2. You got the number 2 team in the country in your backyard. You could beat them. That's going to put a big target on their back, man. I bet your Miami almost wanted to stay at number 4. After what I saw at Florida with that Florida game, I personally would have put them down to number 5. I would have dropped them a spot. That's just what I would have done if I was a Bull. I thought that game was kind of sloppy. The offense, everybody kept seeing the defense, but that offense was rough. I would have dropped them a spot. I would have put them at 5. I think like Miami should be at number 5 right now. Yeah. So we'll see. Let's see if I'm right. If FSU wins, then yep. It goes to show you.
That or only raise them a spot at 3. Make it Ohio State, Penn State, and Miami, but
yeah, because you got to ask yourself. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's still too much football to be played to really say who really the top 5 are. I think Oregon should be higher than what they are, though. I'm just saying, I think Oregon should be above Miami. That's just what I think.
But I mean, I personally have never really fully been a fan of the rankings because they still don't have it 100% accurate.
Yeah, because I mean, look at these teams if you play them. Ohio State, I think, would beat Miami. Penn State would beat Miami. LSU would just barely beat Miami. I think Oregon would beat Miami. And then maybe there's where Miami lies.
Because, I mean, at the end of last year, you had teams that had 4 losses that were ranked above teams with 2 losses. I mean, how does that even physically make sense?
Yeah, there was a lot of problems with that ranking system. I mean, I know the levels of competition are a little more strict with, especially like SEC. I could see that with the SEC.
But I mean, I honestly think to have a more accurate ranking system, I think the guideline should be at least make it to where anything over 3 losses, you're pretty much out of the picture.
Yeah, it's
my opinion.
Quality. The problem is that it's the quality of competition. If you got like a Georgia and they're playing all those top ranked teams and stuff, I could understand why the ranking system's messed up, because the level of competition, like the person that they may have lost to, would go and whip the hell out of all these other conferences. So unfortunately, it's never going to fix itself.
No, it's not. But
yeah, I mean, think about it. Let's say Tennessee lost to LSU and Georgia and Alabama, and then all of a sudden you're saying that their team sucks, basically, when you know that those were all the top teams. And let's say they lost by 1 point, all 3 of them, and then all of a sudden you're going to whack them just because they lost the game. See, that's the problem with the rankings right there. Is that it's the level of competition that you have to base the rankings on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let me see down there. Let me look at my phone battery. Okay, no, I'm still good. I kept my battery charged up for this stream. It's already down. I lost 50% already. I'm at 52% or something like that. But I knew that this would be a challenge on my battery, the stream.
Surprisingly enough, it's not burning my battery near as bad as it does on StreamYard.
Yeah. See, if I do it without the if it charges up at the same time, it overheats my phone. But right now, I don't have it plugged in because I don't want to overheat the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. I know how it's annoying with these ratings, but I always look at level competition. I think they need to establish some way of like leveraging in the level competition, like some way of leveling that in somehow. But it's probably gonna take AI to figure it out or something. Like
Lu-
have like
Lucy,
give
you came back after we had talked about it, but Lucy, Alabama plays number 5 Georgia this week.
yeah, that's gonna be a hell of a team to play against. But yeah, like establish like a point system where each team gets a certain amount of points based on like what conference they're in, and um, you know, and just come up with like a point system. Might be the way to do it. Do a point system.
Yeah, I think that's probably the more effective way to do it.
Yeah, that way you give everybody ranks based on points and say like, okay, that this person, if you beat them, you'll earn 22 points. But if you play like, let's say, Alcorn State or something like that, then you only get 2 points. But I think that's what's going to have to happen. They're going to have a floating point system for teams for points that you can win or lose, and then have like a running total. And if you
I,
lose to a person, you lose this many points. If you win, you get this many points. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you're going to have to
I,
have.
I, I agree with that concept. The only thing that I would say differently is that I think the points should be based off of beating the spread. If you beat the spread, then you get a certain amount of points, and then however much you win, you still win, but less than the spread, the points go down from there.
See,
But
the problem with that is that you're going to have more teams rolling up the score. That's the problem there. I think like you keep all the polls the way they are, but they come with a new ranking system based on the points. What I'm saying, like you beat a team, you get a certain amount of points. You lose to a team, you lose a certain amount of points. But I think a whole new ranking system needs to occur and have like a whole new chart there. And if it's effective, then use that for the college football playoff rankings.
right.
I, I've got it all worked out in my head, but
but but but
nobody
you
listens to
see,
me.
I'm one of those that I think that you shouldn't let up steam and play conservative. So as far as running up the score, I'm actually in favor of like a Steve Spurrier because he was that way too.
Yeah,
Um,
I just
and
don't want a system based that you could cheat the system by, jacking the points up. I'm just trying to think of a system. I think that's the way to go. Have a point system based for wins and losses. Don't worry about the spread. Remember, the spreads are just opinions too. You got people, that are Vegas people making up spreads. So that's kind of an opinion also.
yeah, true.
Then you'd have people being manipulated to change the spreads to help the team. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of ways to beat these corruptions. It's the problem. A lot of these teams are, a lot of these things could be corrupted. A lot of corruption. Look at this table a little bit. It's got this table all messed up, man. But yeah, I kind of got to figure it out in my head how I would do it, but nobody will listen to me.
I
Like,
know.
who's that nobody?
I have several opinions myself, but opinions are opinions.
Yeah. I would have to figure everything out, put it on paper, make a presentation, and prove it to them why my system would work. That's what I'd have to do. But yeah, basically establish, and then you have to have it floating as the season goes on to adjust for wins and losses, because everybody's value would be floating the whole time. I mean, you have to adjust with the play. Some teams are going to get better, some teams are going to get worse.
Yeah.
So you're going to need that thing to be like a floating algorithm to adjust points.
Yeah, the floating algorithm, yeah, that would be a little tricky.
Yeah, I've got all these ideas in my head because I'm
But of
always trying
course,
to fix.
but of
Yeah, I'm
course,
always trying to fix things anyway. You know what I mean? I'm out to fix something. If I see something broken, I'm out to fix it.
yeah. But of course, I think the conference realignment stuff's a little bit broken too right now. I still think they should go to a more neutralized 20-team conferences, is what I think, and then or make the conferences more zoned for what they're supposed to be zoned for. For example, like the Atlantic Coast Conference, I think it should strictly be coastline schools.
Yeah.
Then SEC Southeast area should strictly be the Southeast, and then Big 12 is known for the Plains area, keep it in the middle of the U.S. But I don't know. I'm more of a regional based opinion type guy, but like I don't think there's any reason why a Pacific Coast school should be in the Atlantic Coast Conference. That just don't make sense to me. If you're going to bring in the West Coast and join it with the East Coast, you need to change your conference from the Atlantic to something else.
Yeah, you can't like railroad teams into doing things like that either. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. There's never going to be a perfect way to do anything. I mean, like they can't just railroad people into doing things due to geographics or anything else, really.
Yeah,
It's kind of like there's freedom of choice out there, and they're all going to fight you on that. I would just love to create a ranking system that would make it fair for everybody, like in the SEC, especially that has this ball buster schedule that gets a couple of close losses, but then they don't make the playoffs.
yeah,
I don't know. I keep seeing teams that should have made the playoffs don't make the playoffs because they've had close losses. And then you see a bunch of bums. You see a bunch of bums make the playoffs, like SMU last year, and then just get blown out
yeah,
when you're taking up. Like if you would have put one of them SEC teams in there with 3 losses, they would have kicked the hell out of whoever they played. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a better way. There just has to be that doesn't focus so much on losses. Like I don't know, just it's sad to see.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah, we gotta find another way. Call it the college football playing rankings. Establish these values for wins. I mean, there's never going to be a perfect way, but at least I think you'd have better games doing it that way.
Yeah, I think you would too.
Yeah, there's too many good teams in one conference. Like right now, the Big Ten and the SEC have way too much talent on those 2 conferences, and all the other conferences are floating by. That's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, like if it has to, you give them extra points. So, like an SEC team, if you beat them, you get extra points. Or same thing with Big Ten, because the last couple of years, that's the two conferences that have been just bringing it. And you got ACC and the Big 12 and what that other eight, Big Eight or whatever.
Hmm.
Those guys they're just floating by. I mean, they've had decent teams, but a lot of them are floating into the playoffs when they shouldn't be there.
And then you got the conferences like the MAC and the Mountain West and all them that are just, they stand no chance hardly. I mean,
Yeah, they got no way of getting in. And then if they do get in, they do a crappy performance. It just seems like there's got to be a better way. But what they'll do too is they'll force those MAC teams and the MAC conferences to start playing outside their schedule. They need to start scheduling tougher games. Is what they need to do. If you want to play with the best, you need to start playing the best. But you can't just go win the MAC and all of a sudden you're in. They need to start putting good opponents on their schedule. There's just too many people trying to do that big easy way that Miami used to do back in the 90s. They used to win this conference called the Big Easy. We called it the Big East, and they would keep getting in there. You could have to start playing better opponents.
yeah, I agree.
There's too many damn floaters getting in there.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week. Now, I'll have a more complete list of highlighted games to look for this upcoming week for Friday. But and then of course you'll get the complete predictions and all that stuff then. And
Yeah, should do maybe start doing a Friday stream maybe.
yeah, the idea is to do like a pre week and then a post week.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah, there's a couple things we could do, but you could do even a little mini Friday stream, a little short one, and tell people who would you bet on or who you are betting on.
Yeah.
Even though there's no money. But yeah, maybe people would like that. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest things that I do on content is bringing up about the spread and stuff like that, because when you're in the sports betting, you need to know which ones to go against the spread on. And
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of people want to know that.
and Lord knows I just benefited from that on the NFL. Lord have mercy. I did a $5 bet and won $150.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Yeah, I placed a wager on the Detroit Ravens game.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had the courage to get bet against the Ravens because I'm a big Lamar fan. I mean, I knew Detroit was good, but I wouldn't bet against Lamar ever. I don't know. I like Lamar a lot. I wouldn't have had the courage to make that bet.
Oh, I had no question about Lamar. It was Derrick Henry that I was having questions about, and I was 100% correct on him. He was
Yeah,
supposed to get he was He was slated to get over 80 yards, and he only had 50 yards. So,
Yeah, because I think to make this channel grow, we may have to do like call it a Friday stream, and we just tell the people the bets, like what we're both betting on college and football, on the NFL and the college football. You know what I mean? Like maybe a 30-minute live, Rocky,
yeah.
like a 30-minute live, and we just tell people why we're betting on those teams to win. Because that's what people really want to hear.
Yeah, title it. This is what you. This is where you need to put your money on.
Yeah. I think if you were to do that on a Friday, I think you get, and put it in the title, like betting, our bets or something like that. I think people would come to the channel more. I think that because that's, I think what it is. People want to get an edge on betting. I think people want to win money.
All
What
right,
do?
so you the viewers out there, after this stream's over, drop a comment and let us know what you think.
Yeah. I think it's more about money than we know. I think people want to win money.
Yeah, I mean, people get on prize picks and stuff like that, and they don't know what they're doing, and they wind up losing money. But if you kind of have a little bit of an edge, then yeah, I think people will listen in.
I think that's what it is too.
Because I mean, if I can make $5 become 150, it's worth to look into.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on now. Because I've been seeing what people go to, and they're going for places that are talking about the betting lines, who's winning what, why. Somebody that's going to give them an edge on if they're going to win money.
And as much as, and I'm going to say this now, just like I would with a scratching channel. You play within your budget. You bet within your budget, and you play responsibly. So
That's right.
just food for thought there.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going on here. I think a lot of people watch these channels to make money, get that extra edge on their betting. You know what I mean? And they watch a whole bunch of these, and then people get to do research. Watching a couple of these versus wasting a bunch of time. Because we're not favoritism to anybody else. So we're going to just tell you how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good, bad, or ugly. We're just going to give it to you straight up.
That is true. We were just going to tell you exactly the way it is, and if you don't like it, well, it's your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. We could be wrong about every damn game, but most of the time we're not. I usually miss 2 games, like 2 teams I'm wrong about.
Well, I mean, heck, in the last 2 weeks alone, me and you have more than proven that we know a little bit more than what people had originally thought.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you're a new channel, so nobody's ever going to hear about us or know about us, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. Things may be changing soon. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that I'm planning. So.
Yeah, 'cause I think a lot of people, these channels have become more about money. People want that extra edge to find out who's gonna, who's gonna win the money. Who's gonna win so that they can win some money.
Well, I mean, not to get anybody excited or nothing, but I'm gonna have at some point I'm gonna have a former national championship offensive lineman on my program. And I'm going to have a former Vol eventually come up and talk. So there's going to be some things to definitely subscribe and tune in for. So I think the attention will come pretty sooner than later. And then of course, if we include the Friday gambling bet set skit, that's going to draw attention too.
That's gonna pull some people more than you know. People want to hear the right place to put their money. That's what people want. They want to know where to put that money at. Yeah, Rocky, that's what I was saying. I think the people watching these programs are more into gambling than we know. They're more into the money.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they're promoting all these betting sites, and I'm seeing people getting into them. So there's more sports gambling right now than ever before. They're breaking records. They're creating new apps all the time.
Yeah, I was a skeptic of it at first, but I'm a little bit more in favor of it now.
Yeah, see, the states are letting it happen because everybody's making money now. So yeah, be expected to see more people gambling than ever before. That's just the way it's going to be. A lot of people are gambling. Here we go. I had to make some breakfast, Rocky. Like I said, I didn't eat nothing today.
Yeah, I'm fixing to go eat myself, but
What time is it? 11 something?
yeah, it's 11:30. It's almost lunchtime.
Look at that, Rocky. Look at that,
Oh
Rocky.
yeah, look at that.
Look at that egg trying to crawl out of there before I eat it.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's trying to crawl away from me there. Look at that breakfast of champions right there, guys. Those are not Rocky Mountain oysters either, by the way. They're little tiny potatoes.
Got some bacon, taters.
Like I
Yeah.
said, that's not Rocky Mountain oysters like you guys are thinking. Rocky. Yeah. Rocky. Yeah, damn
Yeah.
butter.
Yeah, we had ourselves a good little stream here, but
Yeah, almost 2 hours. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's good to elaborate. But yeah, if they put comments down there, we can answer questions in the comments. If you guys want.
yeah, a little Q&A action. Any questions?
Yeah, there's nobody hardly here right now. But like I said, once this gains a little steam, once the channel. Patty Cakes has been here the whole time.
Thank you, Patty. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it said one the whole time. That must have been Patty. That must have been little Patty. I can't think of nothing else to add without just start replicating myself.
Yeah, I think I've stated everything. Everything that was in my notes, I pretty much went over. I mean, that, besides talking about that freshman quarterback at Michigan, he really surprised me this week.
Yeah, I forgot that guy's name already.
Underwood.
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah, he was. Let's see here. What was? I mean, his passing numbers didn't really seem all that impressive, but when you add in his rushing, let's see here. He was 12 of 22 for 105 yards and 1 touchdown, and then he had 8 carries for a total of 71 yards and a rushing touchdown. So he is a true dual threat quarterback. I mean, sure, he's a freshman. He has a lot to still work on. But I don't know. Give Michigan a year or two. They might be a team to reckon with again.
Yeah, it's true. Michigan's always had that heritage and that damn good recruiting. They've always had good recruiting there.
Because I'm telling you right now, as long as they can have a decent line and some good receivers, that quarterback's going to be in the Heisman picture in the next 2 years.
Yeah, I seen him one time, and you're right. He looked pretty damn good for a freshman.
And I don't really think he was all in all that high on the recruiting trail either. I think he was. I think he was one of those that me and you keep an eye on. A 3-star that got injured in high school. That was actually higher overall than what was actually shown. I think that's how he came into the picture.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm thinking you might be right on that one because, yeah, I remember that name though. But yeah, I can't remember what his scores were and all that.
Which I'm gonna look into that over the remainder of this week, and I'll have more info on that later.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Hampton.
content wise this week, I'm going to be focusing on Vanderbilt, why they're looking so good, and then I'm also going to focus on Clemson to see why they're not playing the greatest. And I kind of elaborated a little bit of it. It has something to do with injuries, but there's actually a little bit more involved than just that too. But you'll have to watch my video when it comes out later on this week.
So you got more guests lined up that want to come on the show, Rocky?
Uh, they're just like special guests, really. They'll pop in, say a few things, and leave. But yeah, I've got a former national championship lineman from Georgia that has said that he'll come on.
Okay.
Former linebacker of Tennessee from the '80s that said that he'll come on. He actually used to be one of my coaches.
Okay.
And then
We got to start saving some of your StreamYard hours then.
yeah, that I'm gonna save them for. I think it will probably be next month, so I'm gonna save them up for next month. I'm if I do good enough on Prize Picks, I might even go ahead and pay to have the actual StreamYard instead of just a freebie. But
Mm-hmm.
especially if I can get this guest, and he still hasn't got back to me yet. But it used to be a Tennessee coach. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool if you can do that.
He just hasn't got back to me yet, and he's still got a pretty hectic schedule, even though he's not coaching anymore. So if he gets back, that will be a big one right there.
Yeah, everybody's got to work, to keep that money coming in. So totally understandable. Yeah, just because you stop doing a coach job or whatever, yeah, it's like everybody's got to. We all need work these days,
Oh yeah.
I can't find nothing down here part-time stuff. I'm having a hell of a time too, just to get a little side hustle going.
Well, I mean, he has plenty of money, but
Okay.
he's busy working with the Alzheimer's Association for Pat Summit. He's still doing quite a bit of work there. He's also still teaching at the university. So he does have quite a bit going on. So. And
Yeah,
he recruited me, if that helps you with who you might be thinking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That also puts a few years on it, on who it might be.
Your glory days were back in the 90s, right?
Well, I was being recruited in the early 2000s.
Oh, that's right.
2004 and 2005 was when I started getting those letters.
Yeah, that's when Coker was around. That's right. Yeah, I forgot why we ran him out of here. I remember we used to call him Choker.
Yeah, I remember y'all saying that.
You do, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
Was there any scenario that you would have chosen Miami to come here and play if you could go back in the day? Would you have ever chosen Miami to come play for nose tackle?
If they would have allowed me access to doing what I needed to do for meteorology, yes.
You would have liked that because we have the Hurricane Center right close to the campus.
I know, but a lot of football players complain that they don't get the full access like the meteorology students do. So I would have been a little bit more particular on that particular decision. They'd had to give me a little bit more leniency.
It's funny you like meteorology, and I like meteorology too.
Oh my gosh, I'm a weather buff. I'm an actual trained weather spotter.
I never knew that about you. I never seen that about you.
Back when I had a car, I'd actually go out and storm chase, but I haven't done that in forever.
I never knew you were into meteorology that much.
Oh yeah. And you better best believe if I had a car and there was a hurricane coming, I'd be down there.
And I never knew that about you. I don't know what the heck's going on here. Every once in a while I see something flash up on my screen, but I don't know what it is.
I saw that too, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you saw it, right? It just
Yeah.
happened. The hell was that?
Right in the middle of the screen. It's like a little like
Yeah, it's happened like 4 times now, and I can't figure out what the hell it is. It's happened 4 times. I've seen that little thing happen. Yeah, 3 or 4 times now. At least 3. Yeah, maybe 3, maybe not 4. But for sure I've seen it 3 times. But you've seen it too, right?
Yeah, I've seen it too, yeah.
It just happened in the last minute. We're at 2:02. We would have been at 2:03 exactly. So it's not some 30-minute timer on us.
No.
I don't know what the hell it is. Yeah, you guys don't see what we see, but yeah, it draws my eye. Something on the screen. I
But
thought it was you turning your camera.
somebody did just drop a like. It might be something letting us know that somebody had hit the like button or something.
The like was at 8, so it wasn't the like. It
Oh, I
wasn't that.
saw 7 and now it's 8. I don't know.
Yeah, the 8's been there a while. I don't know what it is.
But yeah, this going live together is different compared to StreamYard. This is different for me, so I don't know. I don't know what that little thing is.
Yeah, it just drew my eye.
And it's done it at least 4 or 5 times throughout the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's like the third time for sure that I've seen it, but I never got a good look at it. You know,
Yeah, every time I'll catch it out of the corner of my eye, and then when I go to look at it, it's gone.
yeah, I thought you were turning your camera on or something. I'm like, man, what the heck is that? Almost done eating that breakfast. Eating it nice and slow. Keep my mouth only half full so I can talk. That's the key. If you eat and stream, keep your mouth. Don't make your mouth full. Just half full.
And then it probably won't be until after football season, but I'm also going to have somebody on here that I went to school with, played football with him, but he wound up going into Olympic weightlifting, and he's agreed to come up and talk.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he's been in the last 3 Olympics. He's gotten bronze twice, I think.
For USA?
For USA, yeah.
That is quite impressive. Everything. Oh, it's just bronze. You're number 3 in the entire world.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah, right. In the world, man. That ain't easy to do.
But I always, I always revered his work ethic, because when we were in school, he was the halfback. He was a scrawny thing. I mean, he was like 5'5" and maybe 115 pounds soaking wet, but he would choose to lift weights with me and my lifting partner every time. And he literally built himself from 115 up to 185 pounds in just pure muscle. And he was one of the best halfbacks we had in school.
Yeah. He was fast and wiry, real wiry. Yeah, those wiry guys are hard to get a hold of.
Oh yeah, he was very quick on his feet.
They ain't dragging no fat around with them.
He had one of the smoothest spin moves I've ever seen on a halfback. I mean, he would be going straight at somebody dead on and do a complete 360 and break somebody's ankles like it was nothing. But of
Yeah.
course, but of course now he's 5'8" and almost 275 pounds and can bench press like 700 pounds and
Jesus. That's a lot.
squat like 1,200 pounds. I mean, he's a freaking beast.
Those kind of credentials. Yeah, he is just a little rock. Looks like a piece of iron, you know?
And of course, when he was first starting to lift the weights, I would kind of ag him on a little bit. I would kind of tease him a little bit to kind of make him pissed, so he'd lift more. Um, so, but that was the team leader aspect. That's one thing I always done. Even when I was in middle school, my coach told me, "Look, I want you to be the team captain. You're going to show leadership." And I held to those words and I ran with it.
I had to go eat that damn breakfast, man.
I don't blame you. I'd be eating it too.
Yeah, I was lightheaded. Remember last night I didn't eat much. Last night all I had was remember I cooked that chicken. I ate 8 of most chicken strips I made. I still got another 6 in there, I think.
That's why I don't see how I'm doing what I'm doing the 3 shakes a day and only a little tiny meal.
I got more to eat in there. Whatever I don't eat tonight, I'll have to throw it away. I had to cook 3 packs of meat at one time, but that's my fault. You know, I didn't freeze one of the packs. I never supposed to have 1 pack of pork, 1 pack of chicken. That's it. And I had 2 packs of pork, and I ate all the pork chops up, but the country boneless ribs, I've only eaten 1 of them so far, maybe 2.
Them real.
Yep, them cotton picking ribs, boy, them ribs. Let me see, I got to plug back up here. I'm down to 30%.
Thank you, Lucy. Enjoy that coffee.
Yeah, we'll see. She put that comment a while ago.
I think
I
she's
think we got
probably
Patty
still
and Lucy
listening.
down there. That's it. Patty and Lucy are the only 2 down there.
Yeah.
Little patty cakes.
We had 8 on for a short little bit, but it wasn't long.
Yeah, it didn't last long. Yeah. A lot of times, yeah, if we don't show our face, that becomes a problem. We may have to start showing our face, which I'm open to doing that too. You know, on a
Yeah,
couple of streams.
me too. I just
That's the thing with sports people; they like to look at people's face, and I know that. So I am going to try to start showing my face a little bit in the future.
I would like to get my setup a little bit better. There's a picture that I'd like to have hanging up behind me. I'd like to have my 1998 national championship clock present. Kind of make it look a little bit more of a sports theme.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do. I got some University of Miami stuff, but yeah,
Now I do have an old um, curtain that I used to have hung up in my room as a kid that I haven't used in forever, and I could drape it in here and use it as my background. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out something. But yeah, I have no trouble showing my face.
yeah. What people do hate is like when you love a team that you don't fixate too much on your team, but you definitely don't overhype your team. That's why I'm always going to be extra hard on Miami going forward. I always will be because I know what it's like. You know, when they know you're on top of a team, you know you're going to be biased. So yeah, I'm actually the opposite. I'm going to be extra hard on Miami.
Well, I mean, you can see that I'm not trying to be biased on Tennessee either. I'm
Yep.
genuinely thinking that they might struggle against Mississippi State.
Yeah, Tennessee is almost surely going to lose 1 more game, but let's hope that's all they do is lose 1 more game at the most. Because you said, what was it, Georgia? They still got coming up.
No, they already played Georgia. They lost in
That's right.
overtime
That's
against
the one they
Tennessee.
lost. That's right. That's the one they lost. Who was that other team? Was it LSU?
They have Alabama, LSU.
That's who
They
it is. Okay.
they have Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, and
Yeah. So
South Carolina.
okay, they should be okay with South Carolina even, but I think Vanderbilt and LSU are the two where one of them they're going to lose. The rest I think they can win out with. But let's just hope that that will be the only one of the only two, because Vanderbilt could surprise them. But I think LSU is kind of getting it together right now.
But
Well, we'll see.
there are two factors though. LSU is here in Knoxville,
That will help.
but Tennessee goes to Alabama. They're in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I don't see Alabama. That Simmons quarterback is garbage. I don't think he's any good at all. I
Well, you
think he's
see,
getting better.
Tennessee hasn't beat Alabama at Alabama since 2006.
Well, history's about to change. In 2025, they are going to go into Alabama and they are going to win that game. I
That
don't.
that's a pretty bold statement there, Ted.
Yeah, I truly believe they are going to go do that. I really do. Unless they have somebody get hurt or something, I think they're going to go in there and win. I think
Oh
the
yeah,
the, the game I'm worried about is LSU. Yeah,
and we still got to go to the swamp.
yeah. That's I think with Florida playing with a chip on their shoulder, I think Florida's a dangerous team to be you want to play right now. I've seen some of the players release some comments, and them boys are tired of getting whooped. So yeah, if you got to play Florida, you're going to get a hell of a team. What they're going to come at you. So yeah, you're right. I think Florida could actually, give them trouble too. But I just don't see Alabama beating Tennessee this year, no matter where it is. I don't know. I see Tennessee getting better too.
I think as Tennessee gets healthy, they will look a lot better. But I don't know. There's still a lot of questions, or at least there's a lot of questions in the way I see it. Tennessee could go out there and prove me wrong, go undefeated the rest of the year. I don't know, but I originally saw them being 10-2 was what I thought would happen, and then they'll go into the playoff.
Yeah, even at 9-3, I think they still got a shot at the playoffs. Because I think by the way you're talking, I think they might end up being 9-3, which is still respectable, and they're still going to have probably an opportunity to play their way in. I just see Tennessee being a really good team, man. They're getting better. I see it. I see a change in that team. I mean, I wish the Nico guy would have worked out. I think they would have been playing better, and I definitely think they would have beat Georgia if they would have had him because
And
they
if
had that
they
team. They had
and
team chemistry back then.
then if they keep this recruiting going on, they're just going to continue getting better.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I think Nico with that team, I think they had more chemistry with him. I really think he's a little bit better than Aguilar, or he would have been. Being there that he was already there. So yeah, by him leaving, really screwed Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee would have won that game with Georgia. But I think, yeah, he by leaving and stirring all that stuff up, I think that's what really ruined Tennessee.
Yeah.
They would have had no losses right now if he would have stayed. I think he's just a little bit better than Aguilar.
Hello, Karina.
Karina, we're just wrapping it up. Karina, what are you doing, Karina? Yeah, we got Karina, Lucy, and Patty Cakes down there. Yeah, we're just wrapping it up. Let me see. Where's Karina's in North Carolina? Or Tar Heels. What about that team? Damn, man, that team's usually up there, but now they got Belichick in there. I don't know. I mean, he's going to pull people just because he's a legendary coach. But it's going to take 2 more years for him to make any noticeable difference.
I mean, I
Already,
don't
the
know.
Dolphins are trying to hire him already. The Dolphins supposedly are, fishing. They're going to fire Mike McDaniels if he doesn't do something, and they're already trying to get Belichick.
I think he belongs in the NFL. Really.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's a different game here in the college. Only the Harbaugh guy knows how to do both. He's navigated
And
both.
that's what I was about to say. I mean, they are two. Even though they are the same sport, they are two complete polar opposites game wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So you need in college, you need influence and likability in order to get your recruits. In the NFL, you just need money to buy your recruits.
Well,
There's a
that
big difference.
and being a good developer, being able to
Yeah.
build with what you got.
Yeah. But yeah, the NFL, it's all about the money. The college, I think, is a lot harder because you got to teach kids. You got to teach them what to do. It's not. Yeah, it takes a special coach to be a teacher. Whereas, when you're an NFL coach, you kind of guide people. You don't have to teach as much. You got to guide people. So
And a prime example of that, Nick Saban. He is one of the best college coaches ever. But when he went,
remember, he was with the Dolphins. He couldn't do shit. Yeah, he was a coach for the Dolphins. Rocky came back. We lost Rocky, but he came back. Yeah, let me see when Nick Saban was coach of the Dolphins. When did Nick Saban coach the Miami Dolphins? So Nick Saban coached the Dolphins for 2 years, 2005 and 2006. And he was 15 and 17, which is just about average, like 50-50. He's like almost 50%, but on the other side of 50 in the 40 percentile range. And then NFL, that doesn't fly.
no,
They're going to fire you. So see, there's an example of how Nick Saban tried the NFL. It didn't work out, so he ran his back over there to there. But then again, Jimmy Johnson, who coached the Miami Hurricanes, then went on over there to Texas and kicked butt over there too. So yeah, it's very few coaches like Harbaugh, Jimmy Johnson that can do both. That can coach both ways.
yeah.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson's a hell of a coach.
And I mean, John Gruden had really just one good NFL team. The rest of his time in the NFL was not the greatest. I bet you, if he was to coach in college, he
I
would
think
be
he'd be
a good
great.
college coach.
They're already talking about him too. Where his name got thrown out also to come to Miami Dolphins, but I'm sure he'd be better off in college.
Well, I mean, his name was in the mix when Tennessee was looking for a coach because he used to be a grad assistant at UT. But he turned it down because he started that Barstool Sports thing that he does. I don't know. I think now that his kids are grown up, I could see him getting into coaching. I really do. I don't know. He likes to get out on the golf course a lot, though.
Yeah. So yeah, if he likes golfing a lot, he'll probably looking for California or Florida to be at, or even North Carolina or somewhere like that. Where they got a lot of golf courses.
Yeah.
East Coast or West Coast? East Coast or West Coast? Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I don't know if they're going to fire Mike McDaniel. But yeah, I told you why. See, Chris Greer is the problem. He keeps getting those injured players on the team and keeps picking the best available versus what Miami Dolphins really need. But because of that lawsuit with Flores going on, remember Flores,
Yeah.
who's with the Vikings? Okay,
Yeah.
well Greer saw everything that happened with that allegation that Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 a game to throw the games to tank, like to tank for Tua, you know,
Mm.
back there to throw games. I think it was 2017 or something like that, or whatever it was, 2019.
Yeah.
So, he saw everything. So I'm thinking that guy's got a ton of dirt on the upper management at the Dolphins. Okay, because this guy was specifying. So I watched a stream where this guy was specifying all this stuff, and he's like, "They're never going to fire Chris Greer, and here's why." And that guy made a really good argument, and everything I checked on it seems legit. That that this guy saw things that would make the lawsuit go in Flores's direction, so they can't get rid of him. They have to protect him because if he loses his job, then he'll probably go to Team Flores and tell the truth, and then there's going to be some really big problems that's going to come out of that. So yeah, they're never going to fire Greer. So that's why this guy was telling everybody to shut up, and because it's never going to happen. And I agree with him. I think that that guy's been there since 2000. He's got all kinds of dirt on the Dolphins organization. Every little law they broke, every mistake they made. I mean, this guy could just blow the whole Dolphin organization out of the water. So what they got to do is somehow demote him, or like promote him, demote him. Like get him out of the general manager position
Mm-hmm.
and get him away from that, and then promote him into some another direction. That's what I would do if I was Stephen Ross. I would actually give him more of an executive level and get him away from the general manager job. That's what they need to do. That way, they don't have to worry about any little dirty things you did. You're not gonna have to worry about that. Call him like, I don't know, executive vice president or something. But get somebody else in that general manager spot that's in charge of player personnel. Until then, the Dolphins are gonna probably continue to suck.
Honestly, all that Greer is good at is being a marketer. He is great at marketing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But
Marketing's not good enough to build a roster.
like the stuff inside the stadium and stuff, he's great at working on that. But as far as orchestrating the whole thing, no.
Yeah, he's directly responsible for picking up draft picks and personnel. We can't have him doing that anymore.
The only ones that make good draft decisions and stuff is ones who actually have coached, or was a good player. I honestly can't even think of if Greer even played the game. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah, because they got Jason Taylor is coach at University of Miami, but yeah, there's other people they could pick. There's other Dolphin players, and you got Dan Marino up there. I just don't understand how Marino is not more involved.
he
But
would be the best option for
yeah,
the
I know
general manager
Marino as
spot.
general manager would be fantastic. Because that guy knows what it takes to build a winning team. I mean, demote Marino down to general manager with the same pay, and just say, Dan, rebuild this team for us. And then if you don't want to stay there, we'll get you out of there. But that's who they need to pick, Dan Marino. I mean, that guy's a freaking legend.
That, even though he wasn't as good as Dan Marino, he was still halfway decent. And that was Chad Pennington. He would be a good general manager as well.
Yeah, that's the thing is Greer's just not the right guy. Like if you just I don't know, just Greer, you want to keep him with their organization, but not as general manager. That's the problem. So that's the Dolphins right there. That's the problem with them right now. And then, oh god, the Tennessee Titans. There's another whole problem right there. But
Oh my gosh,
you
I'm not
can't.
even. I haven't been a fan of theirs since Air McNair.
Yeah, if you're going to get a quarterback and you're going to spend all that money on the first round pick, you got to have some offensive linemen to give the guy a chance to throw the damn ball. And Cam Ward's going to wind up getting hurt because they're not investing money on that offensive line. You got to buy some people to protect the man. Especially his blind spot. You can't have him rattled like hell. That every time he turns his back, he's going to get hit from behind. You got to get 2 linemen on his backside to cover his butt, so that he don't have to worry about those hits all the time. But the
Yeah.
man looks scared out of his mind when he drops back. Or you're gonna have to run more shotgun plays, which is then telling the defense we're gonna pass. So yeah, Tennessee's got to get offense. That's the biggest need I think they have right now is offensive line. Just you've got to get some elite linemen there. Got to do it.
But yeah, speaking of Tennessee, that's actually one of the posters that I still have is the 1999 AFC champions.
Damn, that was a long time ago. That was 27 years ago.
That was Steve McNair, Eddie George.
Yeah, that was a hell of a team. Eddie George at running back. Oh boy, that was a good team, man.
And really, they should have won that Super Bowl. They really should have.
Yeah, who beat them? What NFC team beat them?
It was the Rams when they were in the NFC.
Yeah, yeah, they were LA Rams back then.
And I still think that the wide receiver, I can't remember who the wide receiver was. I think it was Bruce. I think his knee was down before the ball crossed the plane. Tennessee won that Super Bowl.
Yeah, Bruce. I think that was his name. That was his last name, actually. I remember they had like a guy. I think it was like Isaac Bruce or some shit.
Yeah, Isaac Bruce, and then who else was on that team? Oh my gosh. No, I think it was Bruce. But he stretched his arm out, but I still to this day I watched that game and I still think his knee was down. But that was before you had the good replay and all that, so
Yeah, we'll never know. That's a 50-50 ball right there.
Lucy, it's okay. We're wrapping things up, so
Yeah.
you're not really going to miss much.
Yeah. If you want to talk about your groundhog and those rats and stuff, Lucy, you can talk about them. That was teaser. she had this big groundhog looking rats. They're trying to invade her house. Yeah, we'll do a panel later, Lucy. You can let us know if you got that, if you got all that construction done. They basically remodeled her whole house, put up new walls and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know if they're still doing that.
Yeah, I
But
was debating on today or tomorrow, but I think I'll do it tomorrow. I want to do on my scratching channel. I want to do a stream. I'm actually going to scratch some tickets for a change.
Yeah, unless you've got football tickets, don't do any tickets on the stream unless they're football tickets.
Yeah,
Unless they're football tickets. If they are football tickets, a lot of people don't know that they have football tickets sometimes in certain states, and that would be okay.
That's one thing that Tennessee has never had is football tickets.
Yeah, Dolphins did back in like 2010, but that's the last time I seen them with football tickets. It was like
Georgia, they have Georgia Bulldogs scratch-off tickets right now.
Yeah, let me see if they even have record of this. Because I remember scratching the Dolphin tickets, and just like the team, they always sucked.
Now, it's kind of
When did
obvious
Miami
why Tennessee Titans don't
lottery
have scratch
tickets?
offs right now because Tennessee Titans suck. But
Yeah, let me see. It wouldn't come up with AK. When did the Florida lottery come out with those Miami Dolphin tickets? Oh, it's digging hard. Oh, yep, I was right. Oh my God, I am so good. July of 2010. Did I not say that's what it was?
yeah, you sure did.
2010. Yep, and there were five. I should have said that too. I remember they were $5 tickets. Yeah, they look like tens, but they were actually five. It says the tickets, which were five, it offered cash and second chance promotions. But I remember them. I remember the damn tickets. And we got a little, and yep, there it is. I got a little thing for you guys here. That's what they look like right there. See that? See that, Wolfie?
Oh, that's a nice ticket right there.
But yeah, that's actually part of the ticket. See, there's the little footballs where you scratch the tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Let me try to see if it will get a bigger. Let me see if I can pull up that big picture. Yeah, there we go. I got a little bit picture here. Trying to spam me. Yeah, I may have to do it this way. It's going to try to spam me, so I got to take a. It's getting smarter.
Lucy says that she's not at the house now, that she's still at her niece's, so she's escaped the crazy rats for the time being.
Oh, okay. It's funny, Lucy. So yeah, I had up here in the upper left, it would have a $5 thing, but that's what the ticket kind of looked like. Okay, but it went down further. It had 3 rows. You had your winning numbers right there. You had symbols, and it had 3 rows. So it had 4 footballs, and then it went doop doop, and the ticket went down. Okay, and I remember it. But yeah, I can't. Let me see if I can get this to show more.
Trying to think if Tennessee had a.
Yeah, because I remember if it said TD, like a TD symbol or a field goal symbol. That's right. I got the symbol. Yeah, if you got a field goal symbol, you would win. And then it had another symbol, TD. But it was pretty simple. It had just 2 symbols, and that was it. But yeah, I knew it was like 2010. I knew it was before 2012. But yeah, I knew it was around that time period, 2010. But the tickets didn't do very well, so that's why they never came back out. Here it is 15 years later, and they never came out with another one. The tickets were, I guess you could consider it a flop. They were good the first couple weeks, and then when people saw how they didn't win, it just quickly went to a flop. And I believe the tickets were removed in 2011 or 2012. They were yanked off the shelves, whatever remained, and terminated. They just, rolled the money back in and refunded whatever.
Okay, so the only time that Tennessee Lottery has had a football scratch off ticket was the Tennessee Titans in 2000.
What year was that they had those Tennessee? Because I remember Tennessee tickets. I remember somebody scratching them.
It was in 2000, the millennium.
Yeah, okay. So it goes way, way back. Man, how do I even remember that? But I remember there was Tennessee tickets and somebody was scratching them. I don't remember where I saw it or how I saw it. Maybe it was on Facebook. I don't know, but I just remember either one of my friends had him sent them. Somebody sent him some from somewhere, but I saw somebody scratching them somewhere. I'm
It
just
was
trying to
the
remember.
first year that was also the first year that they had Slingo.
Yeah, I am trying to remember where did I see those tickets at. Was it on? No, because I wasn't on social media. I didn't join Facebook until 20. When did I join that? 2013, maybe. Did I join Facebook? So I couldn't have seen them there, unless I saw. I don't know where I saw them. I know I saw them though. I just don't remember. Maybe I saw an old video. You know, people put videos up and then you go watch an old replay. I
Yeah.
think I must have watched a replay, you know, years later. I know I saw Tennessee tickets. So yeah, it makes more sense that somebody filmed them and it was floating around.
But they have never represented the University of Tennessee, and they haven't done any university tickets. So
Yeah, Miami has never done that either. University of Miami. They have not done that. Florida Gators, that Florida State. I know there was a talk of doing it where they wanted to represent the three big colleges here, but I don't think they ever went through with that ticket. That would be interesting. But you know, and then some of the proceeds would go through.
because I know for a fact if they had a Miami Hurricanes ticket, you and uh, Captain Scratch would be all over those.
Yeah, and you know it's funny now that you keep saying that. I think there might have been a ticket back then, and I probably played it, but I think I might have been smoking something back then. That's why I don't remember it. All right, let me see here. Did the Florida Lottery ever have lottery tickets for the colleges? Nope, they never did.
Which I mean,
Nope,
it
they
would make
never
more
did.
sense if they did, because the whole thing with the lottery is the Department of Education. Your money's going to the education. Okay,
Yeah,
so represent the schools.
yeah, they could use it to either fund scholarships or to fund things that these college kids need, you know, like maybe computers or something like that, you know, but they could, help these schools out and still make something.
Yeah, exactly. But
No,
yeah,
that was just, I guess, talk.
but
Well, there was
yeah,
a talk. Yeah, go ahead, Rocky.
I was just saying. I think you're right. Friday we'll do a short stream, talking about who to put the money on, and then
Yeah, watch how many
it,
people are at that one, Rocky. Watch how many people show up to that one. I promise you. People are typing in that little search bar, gambling this or gambling that. People are going to come for that one.
and then we'll stick with the recap.
Yeah, we need to have a list of all the games, Rocky. All the games, even the Friday game. We need to have that game. All the games, Friday through Saturday. Okay, just stick with the college, and that stream has got to be short too. People don't want to hear a bunch of babbling and stuff. So that stream's got to be probably we're gonna have to make it a 15-minute stream because I've seen what succeeds and what doesn't. So we're gonna have to get all those scores in and all those picks in within 15 minutes. All the games. It should be easy to do that. You know, I think. I mean, if you want everybody to watch the whole video and to come back week after week, that's what it's got to be. Because a lot of these guys, they just want the damn money. That's it, Rocky. They just want to hear what we say, and that's it. But I've seen, what succeeds and what doesn't. So I don't know if we could even do that or not. Let's say 20 minutes, 20 minutes or less. Let's try to do it 20 minutes or less and get all the games in. Every game, like every game that's involves any of the NCAA, like we don't have to do Division II schools. We don't do those, but any Division I school, we need to have all them games.
That's a lot of games, though.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, we focus. Let's just focus on the ones that are maybe top 50. Maybe I don't know. That's or whatever top 30.
That's why I've been doing it the way I've been doing it. I've been doing the top 25 games. Everybody that's in the top 25, those games, and then a few of the games that kind of stand out that aren't in the top 25.
Okay, so let's try to do top 30 then. Let's just try to do the top 30, just the ones on the outside of the 25. But you're right, that's probably all we can afford to do in 20 minutes. That ain't gonna be easy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some of the times we're just gonna say, like Alabama, Tennessee. Okay, we think Tennessee's gonna pull it off by 1 point or 3 points. That's it. So each team, sometimes these are only gonna take 15, 20 seconds for a prediction sometimes,
Yeah.
maybe even a minute. So we should be able to do like the top 30 within 20 minutes. I mean, if we should be able to do it.
Should be, yeah. That sounds doable.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of like, think of it as like doing a short, a live as a short. But these people, that's what they want because they got a list of games in front of them, and then they're going to like, like they listen to these streams and what people pick, and what they do is they listen to, let's say, 20 different channels, and they put a check mark every time somebody says, okay, this guy took Michigan, this guy took Notre Dame, and then at the end of them listening to all them streams, then whoever got the most votes is who they put their money on. And you know
Yeah.
what? They win. They win. Like, you actually win. Knowledge is power. Simple as that. So people, they spend the time and they make money off us. Like they use our opinions and our outlooks to make money. It works. But knowledge is power. So, I definitely think and that's what you want, because then that's how you establish regulars. We start picking winners, Rocky. People are going to come back here. I mean, we pick, let's say, out of 20 games, we only miss on 3 games. Damn right, people are going to come back to us
Oh yeah.
because they're winning a whole lot more than they're losing. And people love when you pick the upsets. Like, that's where people make a lot of money, is on upsets. When you go against the favorite and you can predict that on a regular basis, like what we did with Indiana and Illinois,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that gets people's attention. And like, remember how I picked some other team? Remember the Utah game too? Yeah, you
Yeah.
start making those kind of picks right there, people will come back and remember you.
Yeah, like I mean,
Yeah, people get that gets people's attention.
I was one of the only ones that thought Mississippi State was going to upset number 12 Arizona State. Look what happened.
Yeah, I don't see, that was before my time. I wasn't coming here with you for that. I don't think.
No, it was before.
That was like week 1 or week 2. And you know what? I would have disagreed with you. I would have went with Arizona State. I would have predicted. I'm just being honest with myself, and not because they were ranked number 11. Because I've seen Arizona State play, and they had a really good team last year, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So I would have thought they would have won. I would have never picked Arizona State to lose that game. No way. So that's one you got right there. That would have been a win for you, a loss for me. I just never thought, but it had nothing to do with that 11 ranking. It's just because I saw how they played last year.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. On FanDuel, your bet is strictly on the team that wins or loses, and I guarantee you there was probably only like maybe 4 or 5% that might have chose Mississippi State.
Okay, now
Maybe.
this is another big thing for you to do, Rocky, and this will be like, if you do this research and you can do this, this is what people are going to want to see. If you can go to the FanDuel website or whatever, and we pick, okay, like based on, like we say, like you'll say, let's say Ohio State versus Penn State, and they have Ohio State by 1 on FanDuel. See, that's what people want to hear us do. So you'll say, well, I think Penn State's going to win the game, so go ahead and bet on Penn State. See, but that's what people want. They want the spread also. The betting, they want the betting line. So
Yeah.
we need to get that information too on the bets. Like when we do this thing on Friday, that's what people want to hear. I forgot to tell you that too. That we need to find out the spreads of these games. I know it's
Yeah,
extra work.
I'm gonna write down each of the top 25 games and
Yeah, we're gonna have to probably
all
stick
the way
with.
down
Yeah, we
and
can't go
those
above top 30. Yeah, we can't go above the top 30. There's just not enough time. So yeah.
I'll be sure to put the spread line on there.
Yeah, because that's what people want to hear. Like, we'll say, okay, well, this person we think will win the game, but I don't know if they're gonna beat the spread. That's what people want to hear. Like, could they go with the over under or something like that? Or the things like that. But that's what they want. That's what I know people want to hear.
Yeah, that's huge in the sports gambling. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that could be the secret to your success. Because you start talking like that, where you're kind of like making your picks on that, then yeah, you're going to get more people in here listening to us. Yeah, just like like I'm interested to see what the spread's going to be with the Ohio State Penn State game and all that, because even though let's say they say Ohio State by 10, I think Penn State's going to beat that. I think if they beat Penn State, it's going to be by 3 points, 4 points tops. Just like Oregon and Ohio State. I think that's going to be a super close game too. Also, 4 points or less. But I think Penn State might have the chance to upset Oregon. So if they're favoring Oregon versus Penn State, I might actually pick Penn State.
Well,
Mike,
that's actually where I think, actually right now Penn State's ranked above Oregon, but I think Oregon's going to win. I do.
yeah, I can't remember where that game's going to be played. If it's at Oregon, I'll take Oregon. But if it's at Penn State, I'm going with Penn State. It's a tough game. But yeah, Penn State's kind of not really been tested that much either. I just don't know how good Penn State is. They're kind of carrying the same, what do you call it? The same reputation that they did last season. So
Yeah.
I just don't know. I got to see Penn State like a really good game. Like I'm gonna pull it up real quick. That Penn State is like got me so confused now. Are they good or not? Penn State football schedule. I just don't know Penn State. How good is this team?
On Saturday at 7:30 p.m. at Beaver Stadium.
Let me see. Here's what they've done so far. They clobbered Villanova. That's a joke. They clobbered FIU by only 34 points. That's a joke. They clobbered Nevada 46-11. That's a joke. But they only lost by 3 points last year to Penn State, only by 3 points. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how to evaluate Penn State right now because they've played nobody. So all of a sudden, Oregon is at Penn State. I think maybe Oregon might win that.
Well, you see, if it is a close game, let's just say it's coming down to the wire. Coach Franklin, for whatever reason, in close situations, always seems to choke.
Yeah, this is a tough decision, what to deal with because this game they're on a bye week this week. Okay, so Penn State's on a bye week this week. This Saturday's a bye week. Okay, then they're going to play Oregon at home. I think they'll probably lose. Okay, I think Oregon might upset them, maybe by 4 points or less. And then Penn State doesn't play another real opponent until they go to Ohio State. Okay, and then they'll lose that one. And then guess what? Indiana the following week comes to Penn State. Okay, that right there could be another upset, but we have to see what Penn State does. First with Oregon, and then of course with Penn State, Ohio State. But yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now, and they've got, and then Nebraska's at Penn State too, which is a little test. But I only see really 3 games on Penn State's schedule: the Indiana, the Ohio State, and the Oregon. And obviously, if they win those 3, they'll be the number 1 seed, and they'll maybe win the title. But they're gonna have to win those 3 games, and that's not gonna be easy to do. So Penn State right now is another one, kind of like Miami. I just don't know. Like right now, that's it. Penn State, Florida State, and Miami. Those 3 teams right now, I just don't know how good they are. I just don't know. I mean, they're just Penn State's unproven, and FSU's got that Alabama win, and that's it.
Like
Otherwise,
right,
they're unproven.
like right now, if we were having that gambling stream today,
Yep.
Oregon travels to Penn State. Penn State is favored by 3.5 points right now. That is the spread as
Wow,
of today.
man, that's
So
I
pretty
would
much on the
still.
on the
Yeah.
spread perspective, you have to go for the upset in order to even go against the spread.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I would pick Oregon because remember I said Oregon would win by 4. I would actually pick Oregon then. Yeah, it's tough. Tough.
So yes, go. If we were doing that stream today, based off of that game and what the spread is as of today, I would say go for Oregon.
Yep. But it's at Penn State. Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. That could be the difference. That could be one turnover. That could be a first down. That could be an interception. I mean, that game is going to be really tight. Man, that's going to be a tough game.
I'm just saying, if it is a close game, Penn State's head coach Franklin tends to choke, and if that happens, Oregon's going to win. So right now the spread is 3.5 favored towards Penn State. If it's that close, Oregon will win.
Yeah, then Penn State at Ohio State. Man, it just don't get easier for Penn State. That's a
No.
barn burner right there.
At the end of when it's all said and done, I think Penn State's going to wind up with 2 losses, and they're going to have to hope that whoever loses in the Oregon Ohio State game can win in the championship game, and all 3 of them get into the playoff. That's the
Yep.
only thing that Penn State has hope for at this point.
Yeah, and based on the rankings right now, all 3 of them are probably going to make the playoff. I think it's going to be all 3 of those teams are going to make the playoff the way it looks right now, and at least 2, if not 3, SEC teams are going to make the playoff. They love to pick Alabama for the playoffs. They love to pick Georgia, but for sure, Georgia looks to be a lock to make the playoffs unless they do something crazy.
And as long
LSU is also a lock. LSU is a lock if they don't lose more than 1. So yeah, it just depends.
As long as Tennessee can win, can continue winning, I would say that they will probably be a lock at the end of the year if they keep winning.
Yeah.
I still have a feeling that Tennessee might see Georgia again. There is the potential.
I know, and that would be a great game because look how close that first game was. That's right. I keep forgetting. Wasn't it like 43? Wasn't it 42-40 or something like that?
It was 44-41 in overtime.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game in overtime. Yeah, Georgia got lucky. Lucky.
Even Kirby Smart said Tennessee won that game.
Yeah. Yeah, he was lucky. Because that Tennessee Georgia game for the second game, whatever team made the better adjustments on defense is going to be the team that wins that next game.
100%.
It's 44-40. That's a lot of damn points right there. Or whatever you said, whatever that number was. That's a lot of points. That's a lot. Did you score over 80 points? That's a lot of points.
85 points combined.
Yeah, 85 points. Yeah, because, you get a defense to improve, to knock 2 of those touchdowns off. That's going to be the difference. Yeah, I predict the next time if Tennessee and Georgia were to meet, I'm going to say like 34-27 will be the next game. If that will be the score at the most. Maybe even something like, more like maybe one of those 28-24 games or something like that.
I could see it even being less, like a 21-17 type of game.
Yeah, could be that too. Yeah, there's got to be some big changes on defense. Wow, Rocky, we almost made it 3 hours.
Yeah, we have made it 3 hours. Yeah.
And we were going to end it at 2 hours. I remember we were like at 2 hours. We were about to end it. And then, yeah, that's how football and talk goes. 1 minute you could end the stream, and next minute you start going off on something else. That's how sports is. It's intriguing, you know. It's really cool to watch these teams. And we
If
didn't even hardly touch the NFL either. We barely touched the NFL.
if you watch sports and you watch football, talking about it can become addicting.
It really is. It's very addictive. You know, I mean, you see some people get hot headed, but me and Rocky are more like the level guys. We are more analytical. We like to like it's like a chess game to us. Some people are more into the emotional and the hostility. We're more like the chess players. We like to watch. You know, we watch everything. We watch all the little maneuvers there, the little whether the running back did something or the receiver did something or the quarterback did something, you know. We dissect the game a little bit more.
We're
Well,
strategists. We
yeah,
like the strategy part of it.
yeah, exactly. You know, so yeah, that's the difference right there. Is just yeah, more of a chess player type football fan.
Like if you were ever to, it would be kind of cool to have a stream where we're both watching a game because at times I'll be saying what the team's going to run before they run it. Like I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, this is a run up the middle. Okay, this is going to be a little sideline pass, and as sure as the world, that's exactly what they do.
mhm. Yeah. The biggest thing I've seen, and this is when teams that don't have good offensive lines, you got to utilize your screen pass better. Okay, because you know that's the best way you could burn these teams that like the blitz. Like if a team's blitzing you all the time, eat them up with screen passes. Okay, you know there's all these, but I'm a big fan of screen passes. I think more teams need to utilize that. You make the defense a little less aggressive. So if you got a aggressive defense you're facing, eat them up with the screen passes, and also that run play option. You know, especially the quarterback running, the quarterback run.
That's what I was about to say. The RPO, which is run
Yeah,
pass
the
option.
RPO is fantastic. Okay, give your quarterback more room to do what he wants to do, to read the defense and make his own call at the line. But I really
Especially when you
feel
got a more athletic quarterback and not a pocket
yes,
passer.
yes, I am against the pocket passer. That's outdated. You need the Lamar Jacksons of the world. You must have a quarterback that can run more. You really do. Otherwise, you have to have a better line. But you got Lamar Jackson, somebody like that. You got that prototype type of guy, or a Cam Ward. You know, you got guys that can run. That they have to respect that those quarterbacks can run, and that's what you need to. You know, if you're going to be a successful NFL franchise, you got to go with the Hurts or the Holmes. I mean, these are people that could be pocket passer or they can run.
Yeah.
But you got to have a quarterback that can run. You can't have old rubber legs out there anymore. You need to have a running quarterback these days. You know, somebody that likes to run too, because some of them are wimpy. They don't want to take a hit, and they're wimpy. But yeah, you really to be successful in college or pros, you need those running quarterbacks now. You know, they got to be able to run. I mean, you see Josh Allen. That guy's seeing something, he'll could take off and run. Josh Allen will burn you with his legs.
Yeah.
You know, all the best quarterbacks. Yeah, Lamar Jackson.
I mean, the
Even
only one
Tua
that
will run. Yeah, even Tua will run sometimes.
I mean, the closest to the pocket passer that we have right now in the NFL, you have Jared Goff,
Oh yeah, he is the definition.
and then you have Daniel Jones with New York Giants right now.
Yep.
I mean, not Giants. He moved to the Indianapolis Colts. Them two are your definition of a pocket passer.
Yep. Now see, if you got a good offensive line, you can those quarterbacks will work for you. But realistically, you really need somebody that can run.
Hello, Wilma.
The Wilma Rooskies. But yeah, we already crossed the 3 hour mark. I know Patty's sitting there laughing at us. But
Yeah,
that's how sports is.
she's probably thinking it's comical because we said that we're going to wrap it up like 4 times now.
Yeah, right around an hour and 45 minutes is when we were first going to wrap it. And then it went to 2. And I'm like, you know what? We could make it 2. And I'm like, let's just go to 2. And then all of a sudden we're 2. And now all of a sudden, bam, we're past 3. But some people are like, what did these guys talk about for 3 hours? People will sometimes be intrigued and they'll listen to the replay.
Well, our stream the other day, I've had about 12 more people watch it after. I was like, how?
Yeah. Some people want to hear what we got to say, and see, some of the people are listening because they're getting tips to make gambles. So I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if we start doing this thing with the line, I mean, I know it's going to be a lot of work for you, but to get the Vegas line or whatever, like the betting sites, Prize Picks, whatever. But if we go and start doing that, you're going to notice way more people are going to start watching your channel, and especially watching the replay. Because that's what these guys do. Some of them go to work and they put an earbud in and they just listen to us all day long.
Yeah.
And some of these people are making crazy money gambling. So if you go and you listen to a whole bunch of opinions and people like me and Rocky that watch statistics and we watch the game, which I just watch the game for intent, then people are going to want to steal our knowledge in a sense, since we're giving it to them for free, and they're going to use it to make money. Because people are making a lot of money, and the more intel you get, the more money you're going to make.
Well, I
We
mean,
might bring something up that nobody else brings up, an
well, I mean,
injury or prediction or something that we see that nobody else sees. And then, that guy bets on it and bam, he wins money. He's going to keep coming back.
if you need a prime example of that, I mean, literally, the Detroit game last night, I just did a simple $5 bet. I wasn't really looking into winning it the way I did, but I mean that 5 turned into 150.
So you made one bet, that was it, Rocky?
One bet, $5, and I got 150 bucks.
And what was the bet that Detroit would win?
No, let me pull it up here. Hang on.
You know what the hardest part being up here with Rocky is, guys? Is not cracking any dirty jokes. That's, to me, is the hardest part. To keep it PG. Yeah, keep it PG. But yeah, for you guys listening there in the chat, Wilma and Patty, yep, that's the hardest part, is the no dirty jokes. Yep. None of those about like if Florida hired a new coach, don't hire Linda Lovelace, because she'll never choke on the big ones. None of them kind of jokes anymore. I know. Look at Patty. Look at Patty and Wilma. But yeah, that's the kind of jokes I used to say a lot. I just don't want to make it go down south, on Rocky's channel. Yeah, I know. That was just an example. That was an example, Wilma. That was not a real joke. That was an example. But yeah, I don't remember what Rocky bet on. Did he bet to Detroit to win? Did he pick Baltimore to win with the spread? I don't know. Like I said, there's different bets you can make. I think there's bets that you can bet on specific players. You bet on the points, total points, over under. You could bet on quarterbacks, receivers, running back.
For some reason, you can't hear me when I'm on another page, but I just sent you what I betted on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I didn't hear you talking, and I just thought you muted yourself by accident, possibly.
I just
Okay.
went ahead and sent it to you because for whatever reason, I can't be heard when I'm on another page.
Okay, so you bet on all these?
Yeah, that was one bet.
Oh, but you had to bet on this.
You
You
have
had to bet on
you have to get all of them right to get that amount of money.
4, 5, 6. Okay, so he bet on Lamar Jackson to do something, Jared Goff to do something, uh, Jamal Gibbs to do something, Derrick Henry to do something, Amon St. Brown to do something, and Tyler Loop to do something. So yeah, it looks to me that
Well, you see,
okay,
Lamar Jackson. It said that he would have 1.5 passing touchdowns. I said that he would go over that mark. He had 3,
I
so that
see.
was a check there. And then Goff was supposed to get 260 pass yards. I said he would be below. He only had 202, and
Yeah, I see now.
so it's like an over under type situation, but I was correct on all 6 of them. So I was able to get
Yeah.
$150. Now, had I only had 5 correct, I would only had $10. So I mean, that
Wow.
one extra one made the difference.
Yeah, like the Gibbs, the guy, the running back. Rocky said he'd have more than 55 and a half yards. He had 67. And then with Derrick Henry, he bet that he would have under 86 and a half yards. He had 50. And then right here, St. Brown, Amon, he said half a touchdown. He had 1 touchdown. So Rocky got on that too. And then the kicker for Baltimore, more than a half a point, and he got 1 point or 1 kick, whatever. So yeah, I see how you got all the wins, but yeah, you had to get 6 things right in order to win that 150. So yeah, with that money, yeah, Rocky's got some bill money there.
But yeah, that was a $5 bet, and it profited me $145. So
They already paid you too?
yeah, it's already in my account.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, of course, I'm doing the CBS Sports Pick'em series, which that's with the spread. If you are in the top 100, you are eligible for prizes. If you're in the top 10, you're eligible for the top prize of $100,000. So, currently speaking, I'm in the top 100, but I'm not in the top 10. So, and that's after 5 weeks of football. So I think I'm doing pretty good right now.
So yeah, you have to that you got to get 6 things right. That's not easy to do. But is that like that every time where you can just bet 5 and you got to get 6 right, or is this like a promotion?
You can pick the dollar amount that you're willing to wager, and it will break down the prize amount from there. Like you could do $1, and you might get $60 to $90 out of it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard, guys, because of the fact that you're basically betting on players. That's what that is. You're not betting it. So there is ways to bet. Also, I don't know how to do it, but yeah, to bet on like teams to win. But there is different
Yeah,
ways.
you got the Pick'ems, which it's called EM, and you have that on ESPN and CBS Sports. And you just go in each week. You pick who's going to beat the spread, who's not going to beat the spread, and then you'll have a couple of bonus questions like, what do you think the score will be? And if you get the score right, then you get extra points. And by the end of the year, if you're in the top 100, you get money. If you're in the top 10, you actually qualify for the top prize of $100,000. So, um, and then ESPN has a couple of different ways that they do it. The point spread, They also go by who wins. They also have a ratings one that's available too. Each one of those are $100,000 each. FanDuel is the spread. I personally haven't got on the FanDuel yet, but I know that you can do the spread on it, and it goes by per game. But yeah, there's different ways to go about it, and fantasy football. Yeah, that's another big one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, breaking news! This just in: Oklahoma State fires head coach Mike Gundy.
Thank God, because he was a good coach, but he ain't done shit. Yeah, I used to like that guy, but yeah, this year he is terrible, terrible.
But yeah,
Oklahoma State's.
that
Yeah,
just came across the banner from ESPN app.
yeah, I'm
Boy,
seeing it for
that
TSN.
coaching carousel's heating up now. But yeah, I think Mike Gundy should have retired a couple of years ago. It's my personal thought. But
Yeah, let me hear Oklahoma State news. Let me see what it says here. Yeah, there it is. Head coach Mike Gundy, 20 seasons.
honestly,
Yeah,
last year he should have retired right after the bowl game, but he didn't.
yeah, he used to be a good coach, I thought. But yeah, it says here recent headlines focus on this. Let's see, it was fired after 20 seasons, Oklahoma State. But it says here, but other reports indicate he intends to remain. So I don't know what that's about, but that's what it says here.
Maybe they're going to have him in a maybe they're demoting him. Maybe he'll still be on the coaching staff. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah. I don't know what
I
that
don't know what
means.
that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. Yeah, I really thought Van Gundy still had it in him, but um, I don't know.
Because
But yeah, yeah,
typically when somebody is fired, they are immediately off the team and they have an interim coach. Maybe they're not going to have an interim coach and he'll just I don't know. That's weird. Why is it worded that way? That don't make sense.
yeah. I mean, they were supposed to be a top 25 program this year. So it's not really surprising me that much to see him get fired after that horrible loss to Oregon and whoever it was. There was two losses where they just got pulverized, and I just thought, yeah, that this is a big ass problem. I thought, but that's how it's getting to be. They just blame the coaches. Sometimes it's the general manager or it's somebody above that. Sometimes there's people that are making decisions and it falls on the coach when it's really not the coach's fault.
Well, I certainly agree that it was the. I believe it was the coaching staff, but I don't think it was Gundy.
Yeah, that's the thing is sometimes, yeah, you just you don't, when you get in a program like that for 20 years, you don't see that some people sitting right next to you might be the problem. You develop friendships and you don't really evaluate your coaches properly. And you got somebody doing a bad job, but because you're friends with them, you just don't see it and you overlook it. And I think that's what's happened with him. I think he's got a bunch of people bringing him down right now. and of course he just took the fall for it. So
And,
unless
and
they fire a bunch of staff, I think Oklahoma State's going to still suck.
and then not to mention he was also like Dabo Sweeney with the idea of not liking the NIL. He was so against the NIL when it first came out. So I don't think he had as much NIL going on that program either.
Yeah, the NIL's here, and you got to adapt to the changes whether you like it or not. And see, Nick Saban said, "Screw this," and he quit. So that's what it is. You either embrace the change or you quit. One or that's it. So that hurt the team, I guess.
Just like Bobby Bowden, as good as he was at Florida State, I guarantee you he would not stand for the NIL.
Oh yeah. He would have been resistant. But that's how it is. Miami embraced NIL, and look what it did for them. They really changed the whole damn defense. They basically bought a defense and turned that whole program around. They really did, made some big changes. But yeah, Miami did it. Texas did it. Who else? But yeah, Miami and Texas basically bought the pieces of the puzzle to fix the problems they have.
But in a way, it does kind of tick me off though that everybody's able to get away with what so many schools got in trouble for all these years ago. I mean, look at
Yeah, Miami bought their way out of it. You know what I mean? Like they basically bought everybody. That's how they got their team.
well, the example I'm using is the 2004 USC Trojans. They negated their national championship for 6-7 years because of how some of the players there was getting stuff under the table. And
Yeah. Now it's all legal, See, I think they realized that it was happening and it was going to continue to happen. So what they did is legalized it so that they could get cut in on it, and that's what they did.
yeah, that's 100% it.
Yep.
You want to know what's funny?
Yeah.
We're at almost almost up to 3.5 hours now.
Yeah, I know. How long has it been?
All it took was one headliner, and here we
Yeah,
go.
that's all it took. I know. It's so funny is that these girls are listening in the bushes right now, and they're like, "Is this the same damn Teddy that's over there on that crazy chat channel?" You know what I mean? Like some people don't know. Like everybody thinks just because once a clown, always a clown, but people don't realize I got a serious side to me too. I've got a
Well,
business side, I've got a serious side, and I got the clown side. But
well, I
I've
mean,
got basically three sides.
look at my end. I mean, people have seen me come up on your panel, and I'm usually fairly quiet, and then I only say a word here and there, and here I am, just going all
Yeah,
out.
that is true. Yep, you went from quiet little Wolfie to to louder Rocky Top. Yep. But yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah, that's funny. People see the different sides of us. Yeah, because I've even got a real shrewd business side of me too. Kind of like a three-sided pyramid.
I mean, like for an example, I know for a fact if I still had a car, I could very easily have a third channel just for weather. I mean, my mind goes in so many different directions. It's not even funny. I talk about music, talk about football, talk about. I mean, golly.
Yeah, once you get the weight off, you'll be feeling better and you'll be moving around a lot more, going a lot more places. And then you could always pick up a car later, you know?
Now, talking about making this channel grow is once I lose the weight, I'm going to be going to some of these games.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Streams at the at tailgates, the pre game traditions, maybe even get some interviews there live at the game. I mean, I have a very vast idea with this particular channel.
Yeah. And Rocky. Yep.
Wilma, no, I'm not much of a reader when it comes to books. Now, if you got me the Harry Potter series, I would sit back and read it all the whole time. I'd be your personal what is it, um the people that read the books. Well, I can't think of the proper name for it, but anyways,
Call them bookworms.
no, it's like a narrator or something like that. The voice books or something like that. I can't think of it.
Rocky Hill. Yeah.
I would get on here and read the Bible, but nobody's going to listen to me.
No, no, believe it or not, if you did that, you would actually have a lot of people. There's a lot of religion channels on here, and they get insane crowds.
Well, I mean, it's one thing to minister, but just to sit and read the Bible, it takes a lot of commitment. Especially if you're like reading out of the King James version. There's a lot of old dialect, and if I was to do, just as an example, if I was to do something like that, I would have to be able to explain what some of the older dialect means and stuff like that too. So, but I mean, I could go that route. I used to be a youth pastor, so I mean,
Yeah, I'm telling D-Man I'm on live with you. I'm gonna try to get him to come in. Talking sports. There we go. And then I'm just gonna tell him, yeah, let's see, we did go like, because he's gonna want to come up
yeah.
together. Yeah, let me just tell him that no panel, because he's gonna want to come up. And then we'll get another hour talking Chicago Bears. All right, there we go. I sent it to him. Yeah, because the Bears won. They beat the Cowboys, and he's going to want to come up here and talk about that for an hour.
Yeah, he was talking about that last night.
Yep. Oh yeah, you do a religious channel. Trust me, I wish I could do it, but I can't because I've really never did the Bible. I've never like read the Bible, or, read it or whatever. I never got into it too much. So, like it'd be a way for me to actually read the Bible and maybe get through the whole thing this time is to do one of those channels. But yeah, it attracts a crowd that is, I don't know, like they would find out about how wild I was and it would just destroy me probably. Like the channel would be big and then they would see the real me and that this was just kind of a side hobby and it would probably not end well for me. They'd
Yeah,
probably want
I can
to
get that.
Yeah, they probably would want to hold me down and drown me with holy water. Is what I'm thinking. You know. So yeah, it would not end well. But yeah, they're going to submerge my head in holy water. Fairly sure of that. When they see the real Teddy. Well, I could hear. Well, I can see Wilma now. Oh yeah, yeah. Teddy's got another channel. And then I see her dropping a link, and all of a sudden they see me, and then yeah, they come back and want to hang me on the cross upside down.
But I used to be a youth pastor. My grandfather was an actual pastor for the Southern Baptist Association. So I mean, if I really, really wanted to go that route, and I used to be a song leader too. If I really wanted to go that route, I would have a fairly decent window to open it up. But again, like you said, with me doing the scratching and other stuff here on YouTube, I don't know whether bad stuff would follow.
Yeah, because the things I do on that chat channel is not going to fly for somebody that's going to have a Bible channel. Like like if I were to do it, yeah, it would. Yeah, it would be a massive conflict of interest. But yeah, I definitely see them hanging me upside down and have my hands touching the ground and my feet in the air. Yeah, send me back to hell is what that it would be.
But I mean, I have had that thought before of doing a Bible um, channel and the content be like a chapter a day, reading a chapter, and but
Well, what I would do, Rocky, is just say like new, like I call myself like a new Bible fan, and basically I would just tell people, look, I've never ever read the whole Bible in my entire life. I've never read more than one or two chapters. I think the Psalm chapters I liked, but basically what I would do is have the channel as helping me too, and I would come on there and just read parts of it and have people talk and just keep going through and until I get to the end of the Bible, and then find the different versions of the Bible. They have the different and try to read the parts that were omitted. Like just I don't know, but that's what I would do. I mean, obviously, it would be going on for years and years and years, but I think there's a lot of people out there that have never gotten into the Bible. I think I would get a lot of people, but yeah, once they saw the crazy me, that might be a massive conflict of interest right there.
and then one thing that you can do that don't get the copyright strikes is the hymnals, because the hymnals is a um, more public recognition. So I mean, you could do like a Bible chapter and do a song at the end. I mean, there's definitely ways to go about it that will draw a crowd. And
No, I think there's a lot of people like me that have never read the Bible, have never been really religious, and that maybe they're intrigued later in life. They're getting up in age and, they're regretting maybe not reading it or getting into it, and I think there's a lot of people like me out there.
but I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of people like me too. I was one of those that was more of a listener than I was more of a read and react type person. So I mean, I think that aspect would pull in people in itself. At the fact that, oh, this guy's reading straight from the Bible, and I can't stand to read myself. Let me just listen in and see what it says. I mean,
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of people out there.
somewhere is my grandfather's Bible, and he actually has notes in his Bible from where he did his um, Sunday services. And I'm telling you, if I had that, I bet I could answer a lot of my questions that I have personally. But my grandfather, he was one of the higher ups in the Southern Baptist Association. He would go with them to Jamaica and places like that to uh, do missionary work. He even went up and was a part of the cleanup crew after 9/11. Um, but I don't know that I'm gonna have to ponder on that one. Because it's hard to do two channels. If I was to do a third one, that I don't know. That would be a feat to do three channels. But yeah, now we're just rambling. So I think we've reached the end of the the sports part. So I think we are officially going to wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to add, Ted?
No, I just did a water run. Had to go get water. Okay. Yeah, 3.5 hours. We're rambling. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah. At this point, we're just rambling. So
Yeah. I would say look for those Friday streams because a lot of you guys are gambling. I know you're gambling. We're not going to be right all the time. We're going to be dead wrong a few times. But I think between the two of us, I think we're going to steer you in the right direction. I'm going to have to say, I think we're going to get 75% of our picks correct
we
because
we
I've seen, yeah, I've
we
seen
have
what we've already done. We've already been 75% or higher.
we've been about 80 to 85% here
Yeah.
so far.
See? So, yep. That's what I'm saying. We have a pretty high percentile of picking the winners because we just view the games differently. I don't know. But yeah, when you've watched football for so many years, like we both have, I've been watching football 30 years, 40 years. You just see things. And Rocky too has been watching football for 30 years.
I mean, heck, I played it for.
Yeah, I played 1 year, but that's it. When I saw it was going to be a bench warmer, I just went into the golf and baseball.
Let's see here. I played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. I played.
Yep. See, what was the last year you played again?
2007.
But what were you, a junior or were you junior?
I was a I went to my senior year. So yeah, 2008 was my last year. 2008.
But were you a junior or sophomore when you stopped playing when you got the injury?
Well, I got injured my freshman year, and then I transferred to a different high school, and that high school was into politics, and then I didn't see the field too much after that. So, but I stayed on the team, and I played ever so often until I was in my senior year, and I finally just up and quit about mid-season. But that was 2008.
Wow, that's crazy. That 2008 was, yeah. I think it was the same year I left this building to go back over to Hollywood. And then I came back here in 2017. But yeah, that was right. They were during that turmoil time when I had just gotten divorced. It's funny how you remember where you were at certain times in life.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to reminisce a little bit there.
I just really wish I had been able to see what would have happened if I actually had gone to college and was able to get on a college football team. What would have happened?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for 35-year-olds to play football, but I still have a feeling if I was to get myself back in shape and build up my strength, I think I could go out there and try out for a team. But that I don't know. It's been so long, and the game's changed since then. So I don't know. It does run across my mind though. But yeah, I
Look,
think
I'm looking to see if anybody's live. We can tell everybody what's going on here. Let me go to the live tab. Oh, that's good to refreshing. When I pulled it up, we were the first ones to pop up. 4 people watching. Okay, Princess Scratcher is doing some tickets. I don't know what tickets she's doing. I believe is that the new Break the Bank ticket?
yeah, they're Florida tickets. If it's Prince,
Yeah, so Princess Scratcher is where we're gonna send you guys. Or you could go to On Three. They're talking about the football that they're firing Mike Gundy.
On Three is a great sports.
Yeah, I like them. I like On Three. I like them.
Yeah, they just recently subscribed to me. I'm hoping that they actually come in and talk to me at some point.
Yeah, I like On Three a lot. Yeah, let me make sure my bell's on for them because I like these guys. Let me go back. On Three, On Three. Where is it? On Three. There they are. But they got a stream going too right now. Yeah, I've got my bell on right there with them. Okay. Yeah, they got 250,000 people. But yeah, so you guys got options. You got sports. You got On Three doing the talk about Mike Gundy and other things, and then you got Princess doing tickets.
But yeah, they just recently subscribed. I saw them on my subscribers list. So either they're interested in what I'm doing, or they're trying to pick up tips. Which I know a lot of sports channels that do that type of crap too, which is kind of bull crap. They'll come
Yep.
in to another sports channel and pick up little tidbits from them, and then put it on their own show, and I don't know. I just think that's kind of a little crappy.
Okay. Yeah, Patty just went over there. I seen her. She just got over there to Princesses. You know, everybody's already jumped ship pretty much. Maybe one
Wow,
was still
we're up to
here.
6 viewers right now.
I know. I don't know who's coming in, but we're just wrapping up, guys. We've been live for a long time, but you could always watch a replay.
Yeah,
Listen.
you're more welcome to watch the replay. Be sure to subscribe, not only to myself but Ted as well. And we'll be on Friday to talk about the gambling
Okay.
aspect of sports.
Yeah. Okay. Patty's got 2 phones like I do. Yeah, I have 2 phones. I like to have 2 devices. I'm live with you guys sometimes, and then I'll be on my other phone and get the volume down.
Yeah,
But yeah, just listen to the replay because yeah, we really don't show anything up here. I think I showed my food up here, and that was about it. You could just
there's a lot of good info that's in here. We talked about quite a bit. Um,
yeah,
even if you're into the gambling, we brushed that pretty good today, and then we're going to be talking about it more on Friday. So, um,
yeah. Friday is gonna be kind of like just like these other people, how they pick people. Like they pick who like we think might win the game, but also where maybe like they or somebody's underdog. Like maybe there's an underdog pick where you can bet on the point spread or something. So yeah, we'll do that on Friday. Where like where's the smart money? Who's going to win and where you can make some money at? Like what we would do basically. But we both study stuff.
yeah. But that's pretty much going to do it. And y'all have a good one. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yep. I don't remember how to leave this thing. Do you? Oh yeah, the X. I got to hit the X up here. But yeah, I think you hit the same thing, Rocky. You hit the X up there.
Let me see.
It's the first time we've done go live together. Yeah, should be an X to the top left. Do you have that X, or does yours say maybe end or
Yeah,
something?
end stream will stop immediately, and you and your guest will no longer be live. Okay.